Welcome back, guys, to Tabletop Notch, episode 14.
Wow.
I was actually accurate when I said we've done 13 already. And I was
We have.
I was like, just so number
And it wasn't tragic.
Thanks.
I mean,
They
we'll
weren't-
find out.
Yeah.
terrible.
I'm already shaking. This is a nightmare.
Orba's in the business. Not like an agent. Like she's in the business. Anybody have any thoughts before we roll the intro?
Roll the dice.
But keep
Get those
checking
bad
out
rolls out.
our Instagram. It's very
Sweet
very well done.
Feel free to plug our own channel.
Yeah.
Don't worry, guys. Remember to come back here.
Put us on your story every time you watch.
All right, we're gonna roll the intro and then we'll dive in. Here we go.
Let's go.
I'm always prepared. I know all the facts. Always. I never forget anything.
We're back.
In chapter 13, cold shoulders and hot pursuits, we set a brisk pace moving north to make up the time from our setback at the Broken Crown checkpoint. The first thing that caught our eye along the main road was a bounty hunter, dragging a prisoner along that he claimed was Bourrage Il Pravo.
Lies.
Although we had our doubts, I wrote we had our doubts. Given the man's appearance. With Erland meditating and Graven unconscious, we opted not to press the issue, fearing that a conflict might delay us further. Not long after that, a half-orc hitchhiker requested a ride after sustaining a mild ankle injury, which we were happy to oblige after seeing he was unarmed and appeared forthright about his intentions. His tales of traveling through Antisuyu provided some helpful details about a few subjects that we'd come across on our journey. Finlock Forest, the Shade Assembly, and the name of the panther-like creature that Graven had heard about while seeking out hunting contracts, a displacer beast, apparently native to another continent entirely. When we reached the fork in the road that Robert Bastile's man had described, we found a thriving trading post. But at the late hour of our arrival, there was little to do but set up camp for the evening before making the final, uninterrupted push to the East Pucara Crossing. Finding a moment to pull Orba aside, Beezaura disclosed her tacit agreement with the Gentle Void to relay information about her intentions in Antisuyu, but a lack of clarity and Orba's refusal to go into the details of her past made for a contentious exchange before the Tiefling stormed off and Erland butted in. With the dark of the night upon us, we took turns keeping watch, and as Beezaura surveyed the stillness of the market, she detected a pair of young thieves lifting trinkets from a neighboring tent.
So cute.
Proteges.
They definitely stole from us.
Taking stock of their destitute state, Beezaura chose not to reprimand them. And as she called them closer, they recognized her face from a drawing back at the Iramapura agricultural communes that they had escaped from. After imparting a little bit of worldly wisdom, Beezaura sent them on their way and waited for the morning to come. With the rising of the sun came the return of commerce at the trading post, and following a quick resupply, it was time to depart. The road to the east brought us rougher terrain and a wooded area marked by treehouse lookouts that kept an eye on merchant vessels passing through. A couple of uneventful hours were interrupted by the discovery of an empty surveillance nest that Erland poked his head up into, and peering through a left-behind spyglass, he detected a pillar of smoke in the distance. The origin of the fumes turned out to be a pair of Black Lion barbarians, ransacking and setting fire to the sentries. Fearing that this signaled a potential conflict at the crossing, we quietly pursued the men until we had the opportunity to ambush one of them on their own. Orba took the initiative to disguise herself and follow the second barbarian until it raised a weapon to harm an innocent man, whereupon a chill touch spell was cast to disrupt his aim. As the Black Lion's crossbow bolt sailed wide, we prepared ourselves for the consequences of showing our hand. Were these barbarians the only scouts we'd run into before the crossing, or were they just the beginning? What was happening up ahead that they were trying so hard to make sure that the lookouts did not pass along? And would Orba's disguise keep her safe, or make her a target? We find out now on chapter 14
Sitting in a carriage.
of A Peek Beneath the Veil. The man in the lookout tower leans out the window and has a moment as his eyes sort of flicker between the two Black Lion barbarians that he sees that seem to be approaching his post. And Orba has a split second to make a decision before he or the other barbarian can compose themselves. You don't have a moment to attack or do an action. Is there anything you'd like to do or say right now?
Yeah. Okay, Orba drops disguised self to look like her tiefling self and says, Black Lion tribe spotted, he's trying to kill you, get him!
Great, and the guy with his bow out sort of takes aim at you at first and sees the disguise flicker, and at the last second changes his aim and shoots at the barbarian.
Wow.
And the arrow hits him and lodges in. And the Black Lion barbarian, sensing this sort of betrayal and deception, he begins to seethe with anger, and his chest sort of rises and falls, and the veins in his arms and his neck swell with blood. And you've seen something like this before when Jawa went into combat. And he roars at you, "Cowardly lowland scum!" before tearing two small hatchets off of a utility belt that he has around his waist, and he hurls them both with terrifying speed, one up at the scout in the nest, and one over at Orba.
Okay.
And the one in the nest hits him, and the guy hits in the middle of the forehead,
Oh my
and he
God.
ducks back out, and you don't see him rise.
It hit him in the forehead?
And the second one, 16 to hit.
That hits.
What in the
And Orba takes 9 slashing damage as the axe catches her on the side as
my.
she's flittering out of her disguise. Sensing the tide turning against him, but being unwilling to run, the Black Lion barbarian, with one last motion, reaches up to his neck, and he tears something small off of a length of twine that was around his neck, and he throws it to the ground with purpose, and he begins to raise his leg and stomp down on this object on the ground. And he gets a couple stomps in, and now we're going to roll for initiative.
All of us?
Yep.
Rolling for...
Including the people who can't even see this?
You will... No, the two people in the caravan, Beezaura and Erland, yes.
So
You're going to
Safira.
come in, assuming you're coming, at the end of this round.
You have to grab that.
Wait, so
Yeah,
it's
you
just,
don't wanna
it's
do
just
anything.
Graven and I.
You don't want to do
And
anything.
Orba.
And Orba,
And
or
the-
rolling for
the Black
initiatives
Lion
and then-
barbarian.
Okay.
19.
Have we all
Thank
rolled?
God, because I can't do any. 2.
20 to 25.
Ooh, yes.
Orba rolled a
Where'd she
20.
go?
15 to 19?
19.
Oh, nice, guys. Nice.
17, the barbarian.
Oh, fuck
Jeez.
me. 17. Barbarian Joe.
I'm 2.
Joe.
10 to 14?
It's just
I think it's just
It's just me.
Just
so
leave
it's
some
2.
room for some people in the middle, maybe.
1 to 9. What? It's
No,
you. What,
it's
you
me.
didn't roll?
We're not.
Oh, you're not
Yeah,
there.
no,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry, my mistake. I thought you said everybody rolled.
No,
my
it's-
mistake. Yes, 2.
Yeah, I'm last for sure. That was a
I should put you-
sad.
I'm gonna leave room for hopefully when they roll better,
You
Safira.
guys better, because I'm useless for all
Did
of that.
did Mr. Forehead Knife Man?
He got critted and died real fast, so
Was
he's
it
not
like-
on there at all.
Alright, he's done.
He couldn't have I risked my life for this man.
We are never sending Orba anywhere alone ever again. I just want to say.
We're not going to use a map for this. You're up first. And you guys, were you guys on horseback or running through?
We were on
We
horseback.
were on horseback.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you
we
guys,
like slowed them down.
yeah.
but
So
we
you
were
guys
on
are probably about somewhere between 100 and 150 feet away, still on horseback.
How much of this did we see? Could we see her?
Yeah, you could see the attack
everything?
happening. Yeah,
Okay.
you could see. Yeah, and you
We
could definitely
saw
hear the
him
barbarian
take the thing
roaring.
off.
Yeah.
Did we see him stomp on the thing? Or
Make a perception check.
What do your elf see?
Oh, now I'm 16.
Great. Yeah, you do.
I
Yeah, you
did?
saw him
Okay.
tear it off and throw it on the ground. You can't see what it was, but you saw that
Definitely
motion
sounds
happen.
like a power release or something.
Orba, you're up.
Yup, I sure am. Seeing that he's either like maybe trying to like escape or signal to friends, I'm gonna cast Maximilian's Earthen Grasp.
Tell us about that.
Yes,
Please.
it's new.
My favorite one.
So a 5-foot square of unoccupied space on the ground that I can see. A medium hand made from compact soil rises and reaches for one creature you can see within 5 feet. The target must make a strength saving throw. On a failed save, it takes 2d6. As an action, you can cause the hand to crush the restrained target, which makes a strength saving throw. The target takes 2d6, and then and it's restrained, I believe.
If he fails it, he's restrained.
Yeah, it doesn't say that specifically. It's worded weird. Hold on. As an action, you can cause the hand to reach for a different creature or move to a different arm. The hand releases. Where does it? When does it say? Oh, and is restrained if it fails the save.
If it fails, okay, great. So he's gonna make a strength save. So the soil kind of erupts, and the sort of fingers of soil grab at him and kind of pull him down.
Come on, Orba, man.
9.
He's a.
I think you're
Where is that?
It's your spell save DC. It should be at the
right.
top of that page. It's right there. No, page you were just on. Top of that page.
Spell save is 13.
13, he fails. So the thing kind of grabs him and it pulls him down into the soil, and in doing so, it grabs the foot that he was sort of stomping with.
Oh,
And
man.
he's sort of attempting to pull it out, but for now, the item remains on the ground.
And he takes 2d6.
2d6, go ahead.
And he didn't stop
Man.
it yet.
He has, as far as you can tell,
Fuck you, 5.
5 total.
I already did 1 damage with my hand.
Great, so he sort of tries to pull his leg out and it kind of pulls him down, and you can sort of rise in pain a little bit. And you can hear him sort of like, and his words sort of morph into a language you can't understand as you're...
Do I catch any of it?
No, he's cursing to himself.
Oh, okay. It's bad words.
Yes,
Bad words.
and it kind of morphs into a like, and you can't, the spell has worn off the comprehend language of the spell.
Okay, and then I'm running
Which
in the
direction
direction of where I know they are. Or
Great.
they're coming.
Yeah, you know where they are.
And as I'm running, I'm gonna go, help!
Great. Graven.
So, you said we're 100 feet away, but we're on horseback.
Yeah.
So I could get all the way up to them.
I think so, yeah.
With my movement.
Yeah.
All right. Other thing, for this casting time on this spell, it says bonus action. So I could use this as
And
well as
an
another
action.
spell or a
Yeah.
strike, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So as soon as I see anything's gone wrong, I've
And he
like
sort of
whip that horse into
And the sort of trees are kind of sort of
Yeah.
hitting you as you go
Wow.
along.
And just as I can see Orba running towards me, and as
like
soon as I
watching
get
this.
within, this one's 60 feet, so still pretty far out. I concentrate and hold my hand out and cast Shield of Faith on her.
Great. So Graven kind of like gallops up, and then sort of the horse slides and the dirt kicks up, and his hand goes out.
Yeah.
Read the details for her on that.
Shimmering field appears and surrounds a creature of my choice within range, granting it +2 bonus to AC for the duration.
Great. Just make a note of that.
That is one slot. And I'm gonna
I know.
come straight up into his face, like jump off the horse at the last minute. and-
Make an acrobatics check for me if you're trying to leap off a horse and run over to him.
Yeah. Acrobatics.
Come on, man. Come on.
6.
So you try to jump off the horse, and you kind of, the ground's uneven, you kind of step on like a root sticking up, and you kind of tumble and fall. I'm going to say you can't make it to melee range if that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
You're short like 15, feet.
Okay.
15,
Okay. So
20
I
feet.
can't.
But he is now between me and Barbarian.
Yeah, he has ridden
right?
past you. Yeah.
Yeah.
He sort of drive by, cast the spell.
As Orba's doing the balls off his horse.
But yeah, I'm going to say you were not able to get to
Okay,
melee
so
range.
no melees or touch range.
Yeah, nothing
spells.
touch range.
Okay, so I'm gonna realize my misstep, and as I come to my feet, like bring my hands up and conjure some flame and shoot some sacred flame in his face.
Right.
I'm gonna use it in a level 2 slot though.
Oh!
Oh, cantrip. Does that doesn't?
Cantrip doesn't take a spell
It
slot.
doesn't take a spell slot.
If you want.
Oh,
the
so there's
spells,
no bonus. Okay.
I don't think there is a bonus.
No.
I don't think a cantrip can be cast at a higher
All right,
level.
target must make dexterity saving throw.
Yes. Yeah. Well, some.
Some
can.
of them.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If it doesn't.
It says at the bottom.
It
if
says
can.
increases by 1d8 when you reach 5th level.
Oh damn.
Then, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so dexterity save.
Yeah, must make a dexterity saving throw.
13.
Oh god.
It's on your second page, I think.
Forget.
Top of your second page. Maybe the next one?
12.
12. Okay, so he passes. I think he
Oh.
takes half damage if he fails.
Um,
Is that correct? Most spells are like that.
Or take 1d8.
If he passes, he doesn't take any damage.
The target gains no benefit from cover. Yeah.
Okay.
all
All right. So the flame kind of, but it kind of goes wide as he's sort of pulled into the soil. He's a small target, kind of goes
All
flying
right.
by.
Well, I'll see that it misses, and I'll just stand up tall and like take my mace out.
Sure, and he kind of. Great.
turn to face him.
So the barbarian is restrained.
So he can.
He can make a strength check against your spell save to unrestrain, which he's going to do. He sort of grabs one of his legs and he pulls as hard as he can. And he has advantage on this because he's sort of berserk raging. He gets advantage on strength.
Oh.
19. So he's able to grab his leg and he pulls it up out of the soil, and it's sort of covered in the filth of the dirt. But I think that's an action.
It is an action.
Great. So as a bonus action, he's going to lift that same foot and he steps down on the object, and he looks like he's going to raise his foot again. So he seems to be under the impression that it is not destroyed yet. So he crashes down on it, and you hear like a, and he lifts his leg again. But that's, we'll call that his bonus action. So he's staying there. He's staying there to try and destroy the object. Safira.
Interesting.
Okay, well, I saw Orba run by, right, bloodied from this hatchet, so now
I'm in half.
I'm riding.
I'm
Is there
in
a way?
half.
Can I, as I'm riding up to him, can I arm myself?
You can shoot from horseback, yeah.
Yeah, so I want to shoot from horseback, and I'm aiming right for his
Make
eye.
an animal handling check.
Okay.
Ooh.
Animal.
Oh, come on, Ranger. Oh no.
5.
Great, so you pull the horse up to try and get a good shot, and it's scared, it's kind of moving around. Make your attack with disadvantage.
Okay, that's not so
moving
bad. Excuse me.
Right, the worst one of that, which is okay. 14.
14 hits. Oh, roll for damage. So even with the horse kind of moving, Safira sort of gets the angle and fires. This was just with your bow, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
This is D8, right? No. Yeah.
That's a D10,
What?
that's
No,
D10.
yeah, D8 is this little guy.
No. 6.
6, and he is hurt. So you
Oh
get
yeah,
your,
so I get
an additional
the
D8.
bonus action, which is
We're so cool.
an additional D8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God for level 3.
Which I got 8 damage.
So what total?
What was your first
What was your
roll?
first one?
Oh my
10,
god.
11, 12, 13, 14.
14 damage. Great.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I can't do simple
No,
addition.
I just didn't know what your first roll was. Great, so Safira finds sort of an opportunity and she really like focuses in and fires, and it sort of hits him right in sort of his chest as he's sort of stomping, and he's sort of he's like raging and like, sort of bleeding from a couple spots. He's still standing at the moment, but he's looks
looking
in
rough?
bad shape, yeah. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of armor. He sort of has like light leather riding armor.
Okay.
And I kind of did that with the assumption I was running to get up to him.
Sure, you can
So,
continue. You
yeah,
kind of
I can-
have to stop a little bit to take a shot, but
Yeah,
you can continue after
I'm
that. yeah.
continuing to get up
Sure.
within melee range is what I'm going
Sure,
for.
yeah, make an acrobatics check, same as Graven, to see if you sort of dismount with ease.
12.
12, sure, yeah, so as you ride up, sort of seeing where Graven landed and sort of fell a little bit, you hop off and you sort of land in the soft soil and run up to him. Yeah, so you're within melee range of him now.
Okay.
All right, let's add Erland and Beezaura. Go ahead and roll initiative.
That's not even
We just run out of the little the
I'll
van.
just write your guys' down here.
Yeah, how are you? Are you guys remaining
Do you have
in
any
the caravan,
additions?
or have you gotten on foot?
Oh, 6.
Oh, you also got 6? I got 6 as well. What happens when 2 people get the same?
Just put them both together. You act simultaneously, but we'll get there.
Cute.
Wow.
Are you in the carriage or on foot?
One of us should start with the camera.
I think we
Is it possible to drive the carriage with one person?
Yeah.
Can one person like hold the reins?
Yeah. The carriage is just not moving very fast. It's a heavy carriage. It only has 2 horses.
What if?
Beezaura, run, and I'm just gonna hold on both reins.
Okay.
Great. So we'll go back to the top. Orba. You're up.
So remember when I was asking about non-lethal magic damage, and you said melee is the only way to have it non-lethal?
Yes, it has to be a melee.
Does this count? Does the hand count as melee? Okay, I wasn't sure. Cool. Orba's gonna try to grab him again with the hand.
Sure. Another sort of hand coming up out of the ground.
I'm within range, right? I'm 30 feet is the range, and I only ran like
how
25.
far is the feet?
30 feet.
Did you run your maximum distance away?
I would say I probably did.
So what is your movement?
25.
So you would still be in range, yeah. If you moved
Okay, I didn't know
25
how
feet
close I was when I initiated.
Oh yeah, he was very close. He was.
Yeah.
But
Great.
you were following him.
Very close.
Yeah.
So close.
We're intimately familiar.
Yeah.
Next
You were-
to you.
She was great, touching his neck gently.
You were right. You were right inside.
He was on top of you. Okay.
Okay, so he has to make another strength
Correct.
DC.
So-
Or saving throw, sorry.
Another sort of soil coming up out of the ground. 7.
Ooh.
Yes, he fails.
7 fail.
Oh.
Failure.
So again, just sort of feet sink into the ground. Roll
And
for
I make
damage.
2d6. 9.
9. Great. So again, the legs sort of pulled down, and you can see him like sort of writhing in pain as he's sort of being pulled down by this sort of the soil and the trees and the branches all kind of swirling together, make this kind of almost quicksand, but with soil that has sort of entrapped him. Anything else?
No, I guess I have to stay there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got it. Graven, you're up.
Seeing that he's struggling, I'm going to take those last few strides right up to him.
It's about 10 feet. Yeah.
Grab onto whatever I can of like his leather or whatever, and pull back my right hand as it kind of darkens and swing and inflict wounds right at his head. Melee spell attack against a creature you can reach.
And it's like touch range. That's
touch range.
And let me just make sure. Attack rolls have advantage. Is it an attack roll or a saving throw?
It says make a melee spell attack.
Okay, yeah. So it's a spell attack.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And it has advantage because he is restrained at the moment.
Beautiful.
By-
So, what would my
So it's a D20 plus your on the second page spell attack modifier.
spell attack bonus?
Yeah.
Okay, so attack roll with that added. 15.
15 hits.
All right.
Well, you have advantage, but that hits already anyway.
Yeah, sweet. On a hit, target takes 3d10 necrotic.
Roll them.
Oh, what?
3d10, yeah.
Would you not want to roll the hit again in case you get a nat 20? And then you get critical hit?
Do I? Oh, I
That's
have
true.
advantage?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. 15, no.
Sure.
So it's 19,
Yeah.
no.
Still hits.
D10. It's the one.
Yup.
That boy's in trouble.
This is a D10, right?
This is it.
Yeah, without the, thank you. This one looks great. 3d10
And this is necrotic damage. is that
necrotic
correct?
damage. 7.
7 total damage.
7 total.
The
1,
first-
1,
the
and
first
5.
two.
Good thing he was close, buddy.
Oh, Graven.
Yay!
Show us how it's done here.
Oh, I like my mace connects with his temple and it just rips the flesh at his neck just tears open and his head is hanging off his body and I just let go of him and let him slump to the ground.
Wow.
In addition to that, the sort of necrotic damage where it sort of decays the skin instantly as it makes contact, as if it was like a deep sort of frostbite that like instantly turns the skin black and starts to. It doesn't even really bleed that much because the skin sort of immediately decays and he sort of falls.
And is that we're out of combat
You
now?
are now out of.
We didn't even get to do anything, Erland.
You're not even near me anymore.
Oh yeah, right. I'm running someplace.
Just by myself.
Are we
Just
near the body of the guy now?
You and Graven are very close, yeah.
Remind me to never piss you off so you hit me like that. And I'm kind of, can I search him? Can I go through his body and just
Yeah, sure.
That was the weirdest way I could have ever said that.
like
But you know what I mean.
Can I feel him up?
You don't have to make an
sorry.
investigation check. He doesn't have much on him. He has a couple of weapons. He had one scimitar that I think Orba took a scimitar off the other guy. So he had a scimitar that he hadn't used yet.
Okay.
He didn't have any money on him, and you see the thing on the ground that he was attempting to stomp.
What is he attempting to
Yeah,
stop?
so you go and you go to pick it up, and the item that he was attempting to smash was a small, hollowed out bone that's fashioned to what looks to be a whistle. And it has a few black and red painted stripes around the outside. And on the wider end, it sort of seems to have a small symbol carved into the end of it.
Okay, can I pick it up and does it appear to be broken or?
It looks like maybe it took a stomp. There's like a little crack, but it seems functional. He didn't seem to he only got one stomp in, so it seems like it's functional as far as you can tell.
Okay,
After
I'm gonna put that in my bag.
after leaving him in a heap, I'm gonna turn around and find Orba.
Did you see that?
Are you all right? Do you have
No.
a potion? What do you? You have
not okay.
And then I'm gonna go walk right up to you and see where you got sliced and
Yeah,
killed.
Orba like rips the hatchet
Yeah.
out of her
Wasn't
gut.
stuck.
Oh, come on.
But yeah, hold the two sides together and cast Cure Wounds.
Thank you, Graven.
You feel the magic kind of flowing through. Do you roll it or she does? I think you roll it.
I think
you're
roll
casting.
it, Yeah.
Whew.
1d8
Red
plus
and
my
black
spell
stripes.
casting, which is my level, so
Yeah.
3.
I don't think we know what's.
It's your wisdom plus your proficiency. Is that correct?
Oh my god.
Would they-
Wisdom is 2.
I can look it up really quick. I think it's that plus your proficiency, which I think is also 2.
On your second page, does it have this specific thing listed?
It's just your proficiency. It's plus 2. It's 1d8 plus 2.
Okay, 1d8 plus.
Yeah.
Okay. Come on, baby.
Yeah.
6.
6 hit points? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course.
The wound closes and looks sore, but it's healed over.
Just from now on, stay close.
From now on, we're never sending her alone.
What? But did you see what I did?
No.
Come on, that was so good.
Are you Orba? That hatchet did a number, don't you think?
Well, yes, I think so. But I had you guys, so it's all okay now.
Yeah. Not ever going that far behind you again.
Hey, what was that thing he was trying to crash?
Well, and I'll kind of take it out of my bag. Look, it looks to be some kind of a whistle. I imagine, it looks like a signal of some kind.
Do you think if he crushed it, it would?
I think he was trying to destroy it so that he could prevent us from using it. I'm not sure if it could be used to summon the rest of them. Then I imagine they might use it as a signal to communicate. And if we had it, we could, I don't know, maybe ambush them.
Oh.
Bring them down on top of us?
Are you taking a look at it as she's sort of
Yeah.
telling you? Make an Arcana check.
Yeah. Oh. 7.
7. The markings on the end of it, the sort of little carved markings, look kind of familiar to you.
Oh, how familiar.
It's an old Antisuyu sort of burial symbol.
Okay.
People would carve this symbol onto like gravestones or trinkets that you bury with the dead, sort of to bring them peace in the afterlife. It was sort of a symbolic.
Like a rest in peace kind of?
Yeah, but like symbolic of
And he was
the
trying
dead.
to destroy it.
Okay.
And at this point, Beezaura's kind of you've made your way up sort of through, and you can hear the rattling of the caravan sort of coming slowly behind.
What's going on?
You missed the action. Sorry.
What sort of action?
That kind of action.
Who did that?
That one did.
Good for you, Graven.
Thanks, I guess.
Yes, I'm not the only murderer now. That's nice.
Right. What's that you got there?
It's some kind of a whistle. It seems like he was trying to crush it, maybe so that when we inevitably killed him, we couldn't use it. There's some kind of symbol on it that's kind of representative of the dead, and I remember them saying that there were shamans or necromancers that were in cahoots with them. So perhaps it's magic brought upon by a shaman, some kind of magic.
Do you think
stored
this
in-
whistle is a whistle that might summon the dead?
Calls the dead?
I would. I mean, that's some kind of tool he didn't want us to have. Maybe it wasn't reinforcements of other barbarians. It might have been dead people.
At this point, you hear the sort of...
Sounds like Erland's on his way.
Is everyone alright?
Yeah.
Yes.
Graven killed a man.
Oh, lovely.
Look, Orba took a beating. I would like to be... We're not doing that again. You're not going anywhere on your own.
Where's the other guy? Do we have eyes on the other guy?
Which other guy?
Oh.
The other barbarian? I don't care about the
The other
dead.
he's
He's in the carriage.
He's in the carriage? Okay, just making
Tied
sure.
on, yeah.
Tied up on the carriage.
Well...
Can you still...
Everyone actually...
Can you still understand
Don't worry, we'll cut that
barbarian?
out alive.
Edit. Can you still understand
No,
barbarian?
the spell wore off, but I'll be able to cast it again when I need to.
What should our next move
There's
be?
no way we can ask this man any questions, though.
Well,
barring unless we find a translator or we figure out a way to communicate with him that doesn't use spoken language.
just
Well,
gesticulate.
what questions would... I'd like to know how many are with him.
He's never going to tell us.
Well, he might
also
not
have-
even be able
Yeah,
to.
and again, just so you guys clarify on the spell, she can't speak.
Yeah,
it.
But I
okay,
understand.
Yeah, she can only
I also
understand.
have a quill and some paper. We could do like some kind of a drawing to get the answers out of him. Like if we draw him as the barbarian or Jillian as prisoner, like any kind of information. Also, there's the dead guy up in the thing. Should we go take his money?
I can go do that.
Check it out.
Up sort of the rope ladder up into the thing.
Yeah.
Make an investigation check. You're sort of looking around. You can see the guy. He's got a hatchet buried in his head.
I can't believe that. I can't believe it. Sorry. 10.
10. So he had a little pouch on him. Had 6 gold, 2 silver that you can take. He had a short bow and a small short sword. They're not nicer than any of the weapons you have. You can take them and sell them,
Let's
or
just
just
take 'em.
yeah. I mean they're.
Yeah.
I mean, might as well keep him in the car.
And he also had some sort of nuts and dried fruit and hardtack that would amount to maybe two days worth of rations for one person.
For sure, taking that.
Great. That's
As she's gone out, we just made a lot of noise. I want to be very, very quiet for a moment. And as everyone, I assume, is quiet, I want to hear if we hear, just if we hear anyone mobilizing, if we hear footsteps.
Make a perception check.
Yeah. Everyone listen. Perception? 17.
17. You give a good sort of, everyone sort of quiets down, and a little bit of noises from the horses kind of sort of stomping and making a little bit of noise, but you can't hear anything that sort of immediately signals you as odd or out of the ordinary. You don't hear anyone coming in your direction or anything like that.
What was her gold again? 6 gold?
Yeah.
6 gold, 2 silver.
And you said a crossbow?
Short bow,
Short bow.
and a short sword as well. Pretty basic weapons, but...
Look, I don't know what our plan is with his friend that we've got tied up in the carriage, but I think we ought to survey the... We can't just run in there without a plan.
Well, we don't even know what there is.
Exactly.
Well, we've got to scout it. We've got to try to communicate with him. If I don't know what this whistle is used for, but if it's used to summon
What's
the
this
dead, our friend here was trying to destroy it. It looks like it could be either some kind of a signaling device, or maybe it could be connected to some kind of magic. Orba says that it has
It's
a symbol. This engraving signifies something to do with the dead and letting people rest in peace. And maybe if it were destroyed, or if this whistle were used, it would summon an army of the dead. I don't know.
I think it's a source of necromancy. Orba starts casting, ritually casting comprehend languages again, just to prepare for when they start questioning.
Sure, it's 10 minutes. You can stay here for 10 minutes? Sure.
I don't know,
Okay.
so I'm just gonna start.
Sure, Orba takes a moment to kind of concentrate.
We should probably continue to proceed very carefully.
Agreed.
I agree.
We
I think
don't
we should
know-
just keep moving.
We are still at least half a day away from the crossing.
Yeah, I think you're right. We can't.
And maybe on the way we can try and interrogate his friend.
Yes, and for the record, and can I kind of try to say this, she's concentrating, right? So I can kind of try to, reasonably say this without her
You're
hearing.
trying to say without her hearing? Yeah.
We will never do that again. There's no. That was my over.
It was ambitious.
She doesn't.
We gave her a shot, alright?
She is never going to be in the front of any combat ever again. She stays behind all of us.
I agree.
Well, we wouldn't have known unless we tried, so now we know.
I agree, but I believe she is more competent than you give her credit for.
I agree with you, Erland.
Shall we? I'm gonna hop in the back of the carriage. Is that guy still unconscious?
Yep.
Great.
Can she get in the carriage?
So we've detached
Graven.
these horses.
You mind picking up Orba and putting her in the back of the carriage?
Actually.
You like sitting?
Yeah, like what is my state when I'm concentrating? Like, what does that mean?
It's almost like a meditative, like you're sort of focused, like a meditative state. I'll say if they're careful, they can bring you. Are you trying to pick her up and put her in the wagon?
Yeah.
Make an athletics check.
It's
like,
the
am I
only
aware
way.
of my? Am I conscious of my surroundings? When
I think you could come out of it if you wanted to easily. But if you're trusting him, you could let him carry you while you continue your ritual.
Athletics?
Yeah.
16.
Great. So Graven sort of gently scoops Orba up, and she sort of feels his arms, but allows him to pick her up.
Her tail is like batting me in the face a little bit. Like, God, don't. Okay. Put her inside.
Put her in the carriage. She continues to concentrate.
So that dude that they killed is like half in the ground and half of his face is off his body.
Yeah, like he's down into the soil up to his knees, and then like part of his head's loose.
Barely
That's
hanging
How
literally
far off
crazy.
the trail is he?
Not.
No.
He's right next to
Okay,
the
Erland's hopping back out of the carriage. Is there any way? Are there any like branches or things that I can sort of put on top of this guy so there's not just clearly a dead guy next to
Sure.
the
Yeah.
road?
If you take a moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone help me.
I'm watching him do this, and is there like a river around here anywhere that we would know? Is there
Presumably
like
you're
nearby?
relatively close to the East Pucara River, but not within
Just cover him
vision.
and let's go.
Yes, I don't think anyone's going to be looking
We need to
for a
light.
body.
Well, we need to pull his body out of there and light this on fire.
I don't think we do anymore.
I think we should.
There are no more scouts as far as we know.
Well, if they don't see it go up in flames, don't you think that will signal to them that something's wrong?
But then again, if something is going wrong at the crossing, we want them to be able to send warning.
I think that ship has sailed.
I agree. I think we need to burn it like we did the last.
I agree.
If we can do it quickly, I can. I'm pretty strong, right?
Yeah.
Can I take the dead body and up the ladder into the?
You're pulling him out of the dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make a athletics for that as well.
Did you already put Orba down?
You can do it with advantage.
Yeah, I put
Someone
her-
can help you. Sort of. You each grab sort of a loose arm, and you're yanking him up out of the ground.
So what?
Strength.
Athletics.
Oh.
Yeah.
Athletics.
And with advantage. Someone can help
with
you.
advantage. 17.
17. Yeah. I mean,
Nice.
you and someone else sort of take hold of the two
I got
underneath
him.
underneath his sort of armpit, and you kind of pull him up, and he comes slowly up out of the soil. You're able to grab him.
And
It's
bring him
quite dirty.
up the ladder to put him into the nest.
Yeah,
with
the
the
two
other
of you
guy.
just make some slow progress. I mean, this whole process is taking maybe 10 minutes or so. as
So
you're
she
doing it.
could be done by then. And then come back down. And do we have a way of?
We have
Who
the
has
torch
fire?
that
You
we
can-
have.
you also have
Yeah,
torches
and we
on
also have
you,
torches,
tinder and
so
torches,
we
yeah.
can light
You have
torches,
ways of
yeah.
lighting.
Let's set it on fire then.
Who's got a torch?
Got it.
Sure. Zara takes one out of her bag.
Pulls
A little
it
bit of
out
tinder.
her
Yep, torch goes up.
So just to be clear, your plan is to kill every man on these watchtowers and light the rest of them on fire as well, then.
No.
So then, what's the plan? You think that they were going to
I
stop
think
at this
we
watchtower?
delay.
Exactly
I think
what
we
you
delay
said.
the alarm being set off. If we send up smoke here, then we at least delay them finding out that their scouts have been killed.
They know they were this far in.
And Zara has already started.
I'm hopping
sort
in
of
the carriage
crackling.
as I'm saying this, but they probably were supposed to send all of them on fire, and it's going to take us at least half a day to get to the Pucara Crossing. They're going to know we're coming.
I know. I'm putting 10 minutes between us and the next scouts who come out.
Lovely. He sits down in
And the rope ladder starts sort of crackling up the side, and it starts to smoke. I mean, it's all made of wood, so it's
For
burns
once,
very
I
quickly.
agree with her.
Well,
I mean, it took you an extra 15 minutes, but it's burning, and
in any case, let's be on our way now.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
So we disconnected to the horses, so I'm gonna
You can hitch them,
connect,
yeah.
hitch them
Hitch
back,
the horses
up,
back up,
get
yeah.
on the
there's also two loose red and black marked horses from the two barbarians that are sort of stomping
We
around.
have room. Like, can we hook them onto ours?
No, it's only
When you
four-person
say-
sort of wagon
When
time.
you say red and black marked, do you mean they're wearing that regalia?
Yeah.
Or they
Yeah,
have
like
red
the
and
saddles have
Like
red and
they
black
are
like strips. So
black line.
they're not paint. No, the horses are not red and black
black?
color.
Right.
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
Should we take them off and take them with us?
Erland hops back in the carriage.
I think it's not a bad idea to have extra horses. I really don't.
I'm hopping on one of the horses.
Look,
Okay.
if someone
I'm
someone
gonna
can drive the carriage, I can hop on one of these.
Oh.
I'm gonna stay with Orba.
I'll ride the carriage. Graven in the back with Orba. Safira, you take the other horse.
Great,
Let's
keep
go.
an eye on that. Make sure he doesn't wake up.
Got it.
Over, leg over. You guys-
So I'm taking the saddle off. Is there like a saddlebag on this saddle? Can I nothing? Okay, so I'm gonna take the saddle off. Is the bridle marked with these?
Yeah, again, it sort of it has like sort of red and black little
What a
fringes.
reindeer.
That are,
Okay. There's no way to disguise that. I mean, we can't ride them without reins, can we?
probably not. No, not effectively.
Okay. Then I can't fashion reins out of anything realistically.
Are there reins on the carriage horses?
Yeah, but I can't
Yeah.
remove them from the carriage.
No,
so I'll
yeah,
just
you-
I'll ride it with
I think
its
you have some
bridle.
rope, but it's currently restraining the man in the back. of the
I'll ride it
carriage.
with its bridle just for now, and hope we don't run into any barbarian scouts.
Sure. Great. You guys are up on the horses.
Yeah.
You guys all start to move out.
Let's
I'm riding just alongside the carriage.
go. I'm in charge of the carriage.
Are you guys riding like all across? Is someone in front? How are we riding here?
I'm next to them, so I can like ideally, talk to close enough that I can talk to them as they're riding.
Yeah. I want to be kind of next to him on the same side, but I want to be far back enough that I could reasonably drop behind the carriage if I felt like I saw someone coming.
Great.
Because I don't want them to see me riding this
Great.
horse. You know.
Good idea.
So you guys continue sort of beyond this site of conflict. And it brings you into a denser section of the woodland hills. And the makeshift paths no longer extend out at various points. It seems like there's kind of one road or nothing. Before you saw some of the veering off to a few properties. And the road at this juncture has been very heavily curated. It's clear that to push through and extend through this sort of thick forested area, that trees had to be felled and stumps dug up and thickets truncated. So they had to manually sort of maintain this road. It doesn't really have a natural road to it. And you pass through with caution, sort of relative stillness of the forest, a bit unsettling. You have a moment here as you sort of quietly pass through. And how fast are you guys going?
We have to make
It's
time.
like a steady pace.
As
yeah.
fast as possible that we can still be like aware of things that you know what I mean. Like so we're like making pace,
Not like
but we're not
galloping.
running recklessly. We're not galloping recklessly.
Okay.
So I guess Orba's done concentrating. So she opens her eyes and looks because she's in a different spot, and then looks to her friends and says, "Okay, so I'm assuming you all have questions now. What do we want to ask?"
Questions? Is he? He's still.
He's unconscious.
give
You'd
him
have
a
to wake
little
him up.
poke.
And you can't just give him a little poke. You'd have to heal him to get him out of unconsciousness. Or wait until he wakes up.
Well, your call.
I don't feel like wasting a spell on this.
Well, I got an hour.
Okay.
Just so you know the mechanics of it, they sleep for 1d4 hours, which I have rolled, but you don't know how long that is. To wake up on their own.
And what did she just do?
Less than an hour.
I just casted a spell to understand him again.
She
Got
can,
it.
she can comprehend barbarian.
Yeah.
The barbarian.
Okay.
I just don't want to. You understand? I don't want to waste a spell for him to wake up and then just spit in our faces over and over.
No, I agree because that's kind of how it
You
went
don't?
with the Carradine men. So we're not very good interrogators yet.
No.
Is it unreasonable for me to assume that I can hear them, or can I?
If you're riding alongside the carriage, sure.
Yeah.
Are there crow's nests as we're going along here?
You have not come up to one yet.
Okay. Let me know when we pass one.
Sure. You guys have been traveling. I mean, again, I'm giving you a moment here to,
Yeah.
if you wanted to do something. It's been maybe 15 minutes since you've left that last spot.
Could I have my bag back, Safira?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank
And
you.
I kind of
Toss it.
I'm not gonna toss it. I'm gonna hand it. I'm gonna get as close
Yeah,
to Orba
sure.
as
Rides
I
over.
can.
Thank you
good
for watching it.
Yeah, no problem.
If we get in, once we find them, other than approach quietly, Does anyone have a plan?
Look, I had an idea that maybe we might be able to draw them out into a place where we could surround them.
If they are already at the crossing, we would probably like the assistance of the men working at the crossing.
If they were as active as going backwards to burn lookout nests, there's a chance that they're already engaged somehow.
It's possible.
And yes, honestly, the faster we get there, the better off we'll be to either help those at the crossing or...
Well, we just hope that they're still distracted when we
Yes.
arrive.
Why do you think they were burning the lookout towers? It's not like it was obvious that they had a prisoner.
I would assume it's because they were about to do something rather illegal at the crossing and wouldn't want the warning mechanism to travel back to the Fork or on Chupa.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because it seems like the men at the crow's nests, if there was some sort of danger, would ride to the next crow's nest. It didn't seem to be a visual cue or anything like that, because the crow's nest was so far apart.
Perhaps.
What do you think they're going to be doing at the crossing then? They already have a prisoner. What else could they be doing?
Well, if Robert...
They're necromancers, and that's not legal everywhere.
And if Robert told his men to hold them up, they might not like that.
Do you think they know?
I think that they may have been held up and might be using force to not be held up any longer.
Wait, were they being held at the Fork or at the crossing?
At the crossing.
Okay.
Just to clarify a point that you said, necromancy is explicitly illegal
okay.
in Ural, where you're from. In Antisuyu,
It's
it's not
not?
explicitly.
Okay.
Yeah, I just used a necromancy cantrip. I just
Oh,
necromanced
right.
that guy.
When I say necromancy, I mean more raising
like
the
raising
dead
the
kind of
dead.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, but yes, that is explicitly illegal where you come
Yeah.
from. But
Is
not
it still
here.
like a frowned upon practice?
by some
Yeah,
people?
like
Like-
some people.
Cannibalism?
Like what?
Like cannibalism? I
Like
don't know.
eating people.
Same difference.
No, that's
The
just
notorious
delicious.
moral gray area.
Some people, they like it.
So yeah, I mean, yes, some people do frown on it, but
Okay, got it.
it's not illegal here.
And what happens if we get there and there's hundreds of them?
There are definitely not 100 of them. There's a single caravan as far as we know.
That's why I think it's important that we scout and we do it as quietly as we can.
Maybe do you think they will make camp at the crossing or just outside of it? Because waiting until nightfall and trying to surprise them?
If we come upon them before the crossing, it might be worthwhile for one of us to try and get around them and get to the crossing to bring more men, to bring more fighters.
Do we
Communicate
think
with
that those
Robert's
men are
people.
likely
Yes.
to want to fight for us?
If they know that someone's going to attack them, I think they would, yes.
Is it horrible to propose that someone on horseback charge ahead a bit?
I think in this particular moment, since we don't know what we're
And
running
not
into,
on
we
this
should stay
horse.
together.
I'm not charging ahead on a stolen horse, but
Well,
I'd take a different one.
I was
if-
thinking to maybe go around.
What if a person rides ahead, runs into 10 barbarians, gets seen, and instantly there'd be no assistance? They'd be left for dead. We already did that once with the little
Well,
one.
the barbarians shouldn't have problems with travellers passing
We
by.
don't know that.
They are not aware of us at
We
this
know
point.
very little.
Look, I'd be happy to ride ahead.
You could
don't.
exchange the horses and put one of their horses on the carriage and one of the carriage horses that you take into the woods.
Riding into the
faster-
unknown, we should stay together.
Together.
I agree.
Yes.
Then we need to move a little bit faster.
As Orba's nudging the unconscious guy with her foot impatiently, she's just like, just wake up. Just, hello.
And let's keep riding.
That's right.
I'm just role playing.
You continue to
Can I see anything coming?
Yeah, as you guys continue to ride through, you notice that the stillness has increased. No critters kind of scampering across tree branches, no clattering of any other transports coming and going, no breeze running through, rustling the leaves overhead. And that's when something creeps up on you. A smell, a pungent smell, that at first could be mistaken for like animal feces or plant decomposition, but then this sort of wave of unmistakable meaty quality that kind of like sticks in your mouth,
Meaty.
and it signals the presence of decaying remains and death.
Anyone else smell that?
And it washes over the carriage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Death.
and you don't have to guess for long as to what it is, as the trail quickly becomes marked with piles of bones, ash, chunks of flesh. Little effigies fashioned and leaning upright against trees are stuck into the earth. And Orba and Graven, with sort of your magical background, you would recognize this as the makings of a desecrated ground.
Ooh.
And this is a tool for necromancers to sort of heighten their spiritual connection with the dead and thus sort of amplify their powers in an area like this.
How long would it take them to put that together?
I mean, if they had the stuff with them, they could be tossing it out as they go. It's hard to see from here how far it extends out, but as you're moving through, there's sort of piles of gore, carnage, bones as you guys are moving through. It smells terrible.
Where did all these bodies come from?
Graven, you know what
Did
this
you have a
means,
question?
right?
Sorry, really quick.
I did.
Yeah.
So it's not. They haven't been. There's not like pikes or anything. It truly just looks like someone's thrown like meat.
Piles
basically.
of, yes.
Yeah.
Ashes, bones, body parts, rotting pieces of,
Yeah, Orba puts her hand on Graven's shoulder and goes, you know what this means, right?
Yes. The necromancers.
What do we do?
I don't know, is there... It's not worth trying to get rid of the... We have to just keep moving.
We shouldn't try to burn it or anything?
I don't think we have time.
Okay.
If this necromancy?
Yes, these
Yes.
are like totems to the necromancers. They can draw from them and
It heightens their powers.
heightens their power.
It seems we might not be just fighting barbarians this evening, friends.
We could be fighting like ghosts.
We could be fighting bodies.
A little more, less ethereal and more
Zombie-like.
tactile.
If we
Nice.
encounter the undead, is there any chance that that whistle you picked up
Controls them?
settles them?
I don't know. I'm not sure I'd like to blow into it to find out.
It was important enough to him that
It was important enough to him to destroy it. I'm not sure why.
If things go really south, then there doesn't seem much harm in.
Can we get a sense?
you go.
These are human remains, right?
It looks like some of them are, yes.
Yeah.
Some of them are disfigured enough that it's hard
That
to
it's
tell,
hard
but
to
it looks
tell.
like here and there you see
And
maybe a
they've
limb.
been like dismembered and
Yes.
they're like thrown around.
Yeah. There are no like full bodies or anything.
Would I know specifically like how this kind of stuff works? Like is moving the items, does it like trigger their senses that they know it's being meddled with? or-
No, not necessarily, unless they were very close by. They sort of set this all out in this area, and sort of it's almost like the gore talks to them, like they can hear the spirits and communicate with the dead in these areas.
Oh, so like
moving
almost
it-
like kind of spies-esque? It's like a way to sense the...
But I'm saying the necromancer can hear the spirits, not the spirits hearing you.
Oh, okay, so it's not like the spirits are now like enlisted to spy on the road.
You don't know that really.
would burning them take away from
I mean,
their-
you can destroy a desecrated ground by getting rid of it or burning it or destroying it in some way, burying it.
Would we know the
possibly.
consequences of those actions? Would it raise...
No, you wouldn't
We
know.
wouldn't know.
Does it seem? You mentioned it got stiller, so I assume that means there's less
nothing
foot traffic
moving.
here.
Well, there's-
You have seen no foot traffic.
So do we see then in the ground or anything? Do we see any evidence of someone riding ahead of us, like wagon wheels?
There are
footsteps?
wheel tracks and horse hooves, but again, these roads are not seldom traveled.
Yeah, but so nothing obviously recent indicates that like a large group of people were moving through or anything like that.
Make a survival check.
Survival? I don't care for that at all.
That's gonna get weird.
17.
17.
Oh, good one.
It looks like, based on the sort of depth of some of the marks, that it hasn't had an unusually high traffic recently traveling through here. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Is it concentrated to a, say, 20-foot cube?
Oh no, it's like as you're traveling along,
Oh,
you
it's
see it along the road. Yeah, as you move along, there's lots of piles, lots of.
Let's just try to keep moving as fast as we can through this portion. if we possibly can get through it.
Cloak up.
Graven, I
Yeah,
don't
and
know
the stench
if
sort
you
of
cast any
comes up
magic.
in through the carriage, and you can see the horses are a little disturbed by
Stay
the smell.
steady.
And
I just pet my horse a little bit. Just calm it down.
are you're driving the carriage? Make a perception check.
Space.
Use those peepers.
Clearly my eyes are closed. 4.
The only thing that you notice is a shimmering of light beyond one of the trees. Didn't look like a creature, sort of a bending of the light beyond the tree. And the shimmering sort of appears for a second, then kind of disappears. Materializes just for a moment.
There's something back there, I think.
Where?
Yeah, I kind of pull the horse
Probably
up.
like 30 feet off the trail.
There was some sort of light.
Is it by horseback? Like, is it accessible by horseback?
Just 30 paces up there.
You could carefully navigate a horse over there, if that's what you're asking.
If we stick my head out, can I see it still? Is it there?
It has gone. Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It was real quick.
What did it look like?
Just a glimmering. I'm not sure
Did
though.
it look anything like when we were down in the chamber underneath not in the grotto, but
In Brickrock, when the
In
old man,
Brickrock.
when he disappeared.
do you remember what that looked like? Would she?
She would, and no, it didn't really look like that.
No.
You stuck your head out the window to look around?
Yeah.
Make a perception check as well.
12.
Wow. So you stick your head out, and you're a little bit behind the two horses riding where they are side by side, so you can see sound behind, and you see a little shimmer for a second, and it kind of disappears as well, kind of out the back. And the sort of sound of a steady draft moves through the woods, sort of a. But you don't feel cool air over your skin, and you don't see any plants stirring or moving, as if the sounds of a breeze, but not the physical effects.
Yeah, stop. Everyone stop.
And you sort of a horse.
The shimmering it's all around us. It's there by the side of us too, behind the horses. Everyone be on guard.
I'm gonna pass the reins of my horse to Safira,
Okay.
and I'm hopping off my horse.
Erland, be careful.
Get your orb ready, get your bow ready.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And I'm gonna point to where it was.
There.
You look in that direction. Make a perception check.
Can I look as well, or like?
We'll see.
Okay.
Perception, I can't refine perception. 14.
The shimmering increases in frequency. You see it sort of near one tree, and then it kind of, almost as if it's ducking behind trees, and you see another one, and if this is the tree, it kind of shimmer, and then it stops as if it didn't come out the other side. And you see that happening in one spot.
So there's only one shimmer that seems to be moving.
As you continue to watch, more and more shimmers start appearing. Sort
Would Orba be able to recognize this as some kind of an illusion spell?
of, make an Arcana check.
16.
It's not any illusions-based spell that you're familiar with.
Okay.
How far away from it am I?
They seem to be at varying distances. The closest one may be only 20 feet off the trail.
My quarterstaff is out.
Wait. We have reason to believe that there were maybe no more than 5 people in that caravan, for 5 barbarians in that caravan. What if this is a reaction to them? What if these people mean no harm to us, but only the people that have come through here and done this?
Do you think
And the
it's
horses
in the
at this
spirits?
moment begin
Yeah.
to fuss a little more.
Is
so
there
a little bit of stomping?
Let's not do
The horses are
anything
kind of getting out of control. What should we do?
is there a place that I can tie the horses up in any way, like on a semi-thin
there's,
tree
yeah,
or something?
There's trees and stuff that you could tie them up to, sure.
Tie up the horses. Tie up the horses. If they run away, it's not going to be good. So I
I
hop
hop
off.
down and help her
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah,
I'll
I
help too.
with
Yeah.
It looks like they're slowly coming in on us, right?
Possibly.
I'm pointing at the 2 horses that have black lion things, and I'm saying sort of into the woods in the direction of it. Not loud enough that if people were very far away they could hear, but loud enough that
Regular speaking volume.
Exactly.
I got you.
I got it.
So
Yeah.
you're talking. Okay, go.
At spirit distance?
Spirit volume.
Keep your voice to a spirit volume.
yeah.
Here, it's a big
So I'm
fear,
going to
it's a
point at the
big
two
fear.
black lion horses and say, these are not ours. We found them. What has happened here?
You don't get any
I'm going to approach very slowly towards the closest shimmer. And I'm going to put my quarterstaff back in my thing and put my hands up and say, these are not our horses. What has happened here? How can we help?
And one of the shimmering sort of comes out from behind a tree, and it sort of starts to materialize ever so slightly, this sort of incorporeal torso floating, and it materializes into sort of the vague looks of a face and a couple limbs, and it takes a sort of human form, but sort of without anything from the waist down, and it has this sort of raspy inhalation sound, sort of. It moves out and a little bit towards you, and it seems almost like it's inspecting the carriage and the horses, and it sort of looks towards you and it moves towards you.
Don't be afraid. Can I see it? Can I see its hands at all?
Yeah, I mean it's not like reaching out. It has like hands
Does it
by
have
its
black
side.
hands?
It's like it's not even it's not that physical. It's like a mist almost.
Okay,
it's like a
great.
shimmering sort of blackish purple mist.
We're just passing through on the way to the crossing. What has happened here?
And you hear the sound again. And as it does that, it kind of passes into you and through you.
Shit.
And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, that is the worst possible thing you can do. Is that D20?
Yeah. Constitution.
5.
5.
Oh, wrong. Advantage
So-
against being charmed and magic can't put me to sleep.
It's not trying to do that. So it sort of passes through you, and it didn't seem like it was sort of lurching out to you, but it moves through you, and as it does so, you feel this great weight sort of pressing on your chest, almost as if someone was squeezing you, and you take 7 force damage.
Oh.
Okay.
And it passes through you, and the rest of you can kind of see this happening, and it moves, and it didn't seem like it really took any notice of him, and it kind of floats. Safira and Beezaura sort of up near the front. You guys are tying the horses.
Yeah.
It sort of moves,
Who has the whistle? Who has the whistle?
and
I
as
have
this
the
is
whistle.
happening, a couple more start to appear around the caravan.
There's more
Another
of
one.
them.
Throw it behind us.
Blow the whistle!
Don't blow
Don't blow
throw
the
it.
whistle.
And I've gotten conflicting sets of instructions.
Do you want something from us?
Blow the whistle!
It has not responded to any.
Can I
spoken
take
words
out
at
the
this
whistle and hold it in front of him? Does
and
he
it's sort of
react to it?
as you hold it out, it kind of and it stops. And some of the other ones that have materialized, they get close and they sort of start to rotate around the carriage and the point of the whistle slowly. And they're sort of waiting.
So I'm slowly kind of putting it up to my mouth as if I'm gonna blow, and I'm watching their reaction.
And they sort of seem to like lean forward in towards you.
Like they want me to do it. Like what's the vibe I'm getting from these guys?
She puts it up. She puts
Make
it
a
down.
choice.
They don't have like distinct faces, so you're not getting like a read on like an emotional state.
Okay, they
Sort of
lean in
these
when
are-
I put it up to my mouth, and what if I take it and like, kind of like try to break
As if
it?
to try
as
and
if
break it?
to try to break it. I'm not gonna actually.
They take like a little lurch forward, like ever so like another 30 feet, sort of.
And so reading that,
Do it, blow it,
I'm
just
gonna
blow it.
I'm gonna blow the whistle.
And as you blow the whistle, they sort of get pushed back as almost by like a light force, and they almost like a sort of invisible shockwave that lightly pushes them
Okay,
back.
so am I within arm's length of Erland?
I'm, as soon as I see that, I'm running back to my horse, hopping on.
Yep.
Well,
Ride.
No, hang on.
But they've all pushed back,
Yeah,
and
pushed back,
there's
but-
at least 9 or 10 of them now surrounding.
Yeah, surrounding.
And they kind of go out, and they reach sort of a point maybe 40 feet from sort of a central point of the carriage,
Yeah.
and then they begin to slowly move.
It
towards
pushes
you.
them back. Ride, keep blowing the whistle. It
blowing
pushes
the
them
whistle.
back.
We untie the horses. We start untying the
So
horses.
yeah, I start so
Everybody get
they
ready.
I hop back
untie
on
the
the
horses.
carriage.
I hop back on the horse with the whistle in my mouth,
Sure.
and I'm gonna
Give it a good one, Safira.
Like, blow the whistle again.
Sure, and they push back.
They were trying to destroy it so we couldn't get through this part.
And
They start
then,
to
so
move
as
in
they
Let's go!
move, I'm gonna keep blowing as they move in.
Come on!
So the carriage, the carriage has moved. Safira continues to blow, and it has this sort of like spectral lung effect, where it's sort of this sort of almost breathing of the spirits as they sort of push back, and the horses are fussing. As soon as they get like even a little bit close, the horses kick up a little bit of dirt. Who's driving the carriage?
I am.
Make an animal handling check.
I'm doing the blue one. Where's that? Out on the top. Oh, 9.
9. Okay, so the horses, I mean, they're fussing, but you're able to keep them steady. I mean,
Steady?
It's slowing your progress, but they're not like preventing you from moving. They seem to be like every time you sort of try to move them forward, they kind of give a little resist. Yeah, but they continue forward reluctantly as the sort of spirits go.
Can I sort of seeing that she's struggling a little bit? Can I sort of ride up next to the horses? Because I assume I'm much more mobile on a horse.
Correct.
So ride up next to the horse and just sort of like as it's going along, try and help and pat, calm it down a
So
little
Erland
bit.
kind of has a hand as he's sort of riding in the horses, and it helps a little bit, and the carriage continues to move forward.
Erland, are you all right? What happened before?
It passed through me. I'm injured, but it's sort of hard to describe. I'm injured in some way.
Do you need healing?
Not yet. Let's see what happens next.
Let me know.
Let's just
I
keep
mean, it
moving
felt like
and
you had the
Spirit
wind
keep
knocked
blowing.
out. Like if you fell on your back really hard, you get that sort of
I'm fine for now, but look out for me, friend. Erland sort of chuckles as he's holding the horse down.
And I'm still watching very carefully.
Sure, and they all have eyes on Safira. Now they're still like circular around the caravan, but they all kind of like watch.
Yeah.
Safira, if you start to get woozy, hand the whistle to somebody else.
Yeah. I've got big lungs.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to blow it super
Yeah.
hard.
Oh, okay. Not like a trumpet.
And
Does
it
it
makes
make a-
kind of a
does it
low
make-
tone.
yeah, does it make like a
makes
loud
kind of
noise?
a surprisingly low tone for how small it is. You'd expect it to kind of have like
Right.
high pitched, but it has kind of a.
Oh,
It's not
that's
super
nice.
loud.
Okay.
And the spirits continue to get close. And they like push away lightly. And you guys continue forward.
I would prepare to see the barbarians just outside of whatever the hell this land is, by the way.
Very soon.
It seems like they sort of set this trap so that no one could come after them, right?
And only
We
the
weren't supposed to
barbarians
have
who
a
were
whistle.
setting the trap, or who were
Yes.
lighting the things on fire, could get back through.
Yes.
They're cutting the road off. As Orba still keeps nudging the guy with her foot. Just.
Yeah, he doesn't. I mean, it's probably
That's fine.
you've probably been traveling for like a little over an hour now, so you're sort of moving. Through.
Oh, okay. So I no longer have the spell.
No. Yeah, an hour. So yeah. So you guys have passed through.
How is concentrating on the wagon? Should I?
Is what?
Concentrating for that spell on the wagon. Can I just start again, just in case?
To cast it as a ritual again?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah, you can do that. As you're sort of
I'm gonna
saying.
start. I'm gonna.
Yeah, you're maybe a little less aware of your surroundings, but yeah. You
Yes,
can-
I'll be right back. She starts to.
Orba goes back in sort of concentration state, and you guys are moving through, and the spirits seem to be sort of tamed for the moment as they sort of follow along the carriage with you. And as you guys are moving through, you hear an explosion in the distance, and in doing so, it causes the spirits sort of restless to scatter. And I need everyone to make dexterity saving throws as they kind of, almost like you open the door and a bunch of bugs kind of.
Is that the D20?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dexterity.
saving throws for everyone.
Saving.
6 for me.
I have those saving things. Oh yeah, there we go.
So there.
7.
Why dexterity? Was it the spirits that sort of?
Yeah. So when the sound triggered, the spirits got spooked and they started sort of scattering around, and the dexterity is like dodging out of the way of the spirits.
Oh,
moving
should I have been
around.
doing that at disadvantage then?
Why?
Because I was concentrating.
No, because you were in the carriage, so they can pass through the carriage, but because they sort of couldn't see you.
Oh, okay. Great. It evens out.
8.
8,
17.
17.
17.
7.
6. So the 3 people with single digits, you take 6 force damage,
Oh my god.
and half as much for the 2 people who succeed.
Ugh, 3?
3 force damage.
Right back down to that 4
Is it the
HP.
same?
6 force.
Unless you have resistance to a type of damage, it's the same.
We take 4?
You take 3,
Six.
half as much, yes.
And we take 6.
So you take 6, yes.
So that brings my HP down 6.
Yeah.
Goliath?
Does that break my concentration?
Could use a little help
Yes.
now.
It's time.
I think it's time, yes. Wait, so what has actually happened?
So the spirits kind of scattered, and now they've slowed again after the sound, and now they kind of concentrate back on Safira and the whistle.
Okay.
A few of them closer now because they've sort of scattered
And the
around.
ones that are closer, I kind of blow it almost at them.
Sure, and
Like, excuse me, fuck off, please.
that pushes them away after
Yeah.
this sort of thing. And it seems like the horses sort of maybe got hurt in that a little bit too. They're still up, but they sort of like feeling those sort of spirits pass through them. But
So-
they're still moving.
In all of that, could we tell how far away that explosion sounded like it was coming from?
It sounded a good distance away, but it did not sound like it was super close. So that's what you're
Okay.
asking.
You
It
can't
sounded
see,
good.
like-
You didn't. As of now, you cannot see
Okay.
any secondary.
I'm gonna
effects
sort of
the sound.
drop back from the horses that I was helping her with and sort of to the window of the carriage. Goliath.
I can see you need it, yes. Just put my hand out and hold his hand.
Sure.
And cast Cure Wounds.
Right.
1d8 spell cast.
+2, yeah.
Yeah. 7.
Thank you.
Give me a little squeeze in my hand to say that before I let go.
So you guys are continuing through.
Yeah, very frustratingly, Orba keeps her eyes closed as that hits her, and she just goes, "Ugh," and she has to start over.
Starts her concentration back over. You guys have a moment here as you're passing through.
Can I see, like, how far up these piles of bodies are? Like,
They're still coming as
they're
far as
still
you're
coming?
riding.
Where did they
The spirits
have all
are
this?
where they're
Surrounding the carriage. They've
Still
returned to
there.
this sort of, after the scattering and she blew the whistle again, they kind of returned to sort of a sphere around the carriage.
Like within like 15, 20 feet.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how long she waits between sort of blowing the whistle, but yeah, she doesn't let him get closer than 15, 20 feet.
We are headed into serious business right now.
Safira, I hope this is sufficient evidence that they wish us harm.
Look, I think I know what you're about to say, and yes.
Good.
Do I notice anything else as I ride the carriage?
Make a perception check. It's also hard to see with the spirits are in
The
front of
spirits
the
are, like,
carriage as
all
well,
over.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of obstructing your vision a little bit.
Way.
20.
20. So as they're moving around and at sort of the apex of their spread when the whistle's blown, you are able to see a little ways down the path. And you also can hear a little bit, ever so slightly, the sound of flowing water. It seems like you might be getting close to the river itself.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
I think the river's up ahead.
Unfortunately, there's no way for one of us to go in stealthily because that
No.
whistle is keeping us all alive at this moment.
We are together for the duration.
And where the river is, that's where a crossing is.
Maybe. Judging by how much time you've traveled, probably not. The trail might meet up with the river and then travel alongside it, because you can hear the river. But it's probably still a couple hours, based on what the timeline you were given, to get there.
I think we should hurry along to that point. It might be the escape from the spirits.
Yes, I mean, there's nothing to be done but keep riding.
You guys continue forward. And the carriage maintains a steady course, and at least an hour or so passes before the tension of the environment lessens a little bit. And you start to hear the flowing water get a little bit louder.
Feels a little bit clearer out here, don't you think?
And with that, some of the streams of air begin to come through. It sort of breaks up the sort of smells of decay and rot. And the bone piles and sort of gore seem to be lessening in number. You see, they become, instead of sort of one every few feet, they become one every 10 feet, 20 feet. They start to spread a little bit. And some of the spirits begin to avert their gaze away from the fixation on Safira. Sort of some of the ones in the back kind of, they begin to fade back without you having to blow the whistle. They start to move away, almost as if they've sort of lost interest.
There was an explosion. I know we're all a little distracted by the damage we took, but there was an explosion, so the assault on the crossing may have already begun.
Yes.
Orba's concentrating on the spell again.
Sure.
If we,
You've gotten through. It has at this
honestly,
point.
if we had the element of surprise before, we certainly have it now. There's no way they think we would be able to. Anyone would get through this.
Were there any crow's nests throughout all that nonsense?
Nope.
No remnants. No nothing.
I think we
It's
hit the
very
last
thick.
one.
It seemed like maybe that was a difficult point in
Right.
this to set up a
Right.
a station. Maybe
So sorry. Did we see the water?
you have not seen the water.
Okay,
no.
great.
You're still moving. And the specters that were sort of surrounding the carriage from the front, they kind of ease off to the sides and the rear a little bit, and they still kind of follow you, but not quite as closely.
I'm still watching them, you know.
And one of them sort of almost lingers a little bit in front as some of the others fade behind.
What's with that one?
And it tracks the whistle that you have in your hand, and it kind of stays looking as you're kind of looking back at it. And then it opens its sort of shadowy maw, and it has this sort of attempt to speak, almost this harrowing sort of noise, like and it reaches out and it points at the whistle, and at the same time produces, seemingly out of nowhere, out of air, a thin scroll that it holds up, and it dangles from these sort of wispy thread-like fingers, and it sort of moves it forward. And it
Can I
points at
read
this.
the scroll?
No.
Do you understand this, Tiefling?
Make an Arcana check.
Okay. 14.
It's you can't read any of the text from this distance, but
Yeah.
based on some of the symbols, it looks like a spell scroll.
But the exhaling, you can't understand with the understand language thing?
I guess not.
It doesn't seem like it's actually using a
Words.
language.
Okay.
Would I know if it is would I know if this is binding and a physical thing on another caster? This scroll.
I don't know what you mean by that.
I know. I'm trying to explain it. Is that like representative of an actual scroll that a mage has on them that is controlling these people? Am I making sense?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean.
Like, is it something of importance?
Is it?
Is it this scroll? Is it this scroll that's bound these spirits to this place?
It looks like a spell scroll that you could use.
You wouldn't
Like,
know.
it's like there's
He's
something of
offering-
importance.
He's
in it.
proposing a trade.
Casting a spell wouldn't. You wouldn't have a scroll.
You're worried that
No.
somebody is
I'm
going to
not
be
sure.
like alerted if you grab that or something, or you're worried
No,
that it's not really there.
I thought he was trying to tell us that whoever's like controlling them or whatever has a spell scroll.
I think the
You cannot tell
I
that
think
from this interaction.
I think
Oh
the
my
spirit's
God.
proposing a trade for the whistle.
Yeah, I think he probably wants that whistle.
Is he too shadowy to have like eyes or?
Yeah, it's sort of there's sort of like empty pockets where eyes are in this sort of spectral form.
I would offer him the whistle.
You have a couple seconds here as you get
So
out of this because he's staying at the edge of sort of where the desecrated ground was. So he's sort of.
I'm gonna like kind of hand it out to him and see how he responds. I'm
So
not
you're
gonna
riding
let
your
it.
horse over there.
Yeah.
He seems to open a hand a little bit,
And I'll open my hand as well for the scroll.
and he moves it forward a little bit.
And so we're both kind of doing.
that little
We're
dance.
testing each
waiting for
other.
you.
Where
Who grabs first?
I'm gonna kind of put it in his hand while I still have a hold of it,
Okay.
and then grab the
And he lets
scroll.
you grab it. And even though it looks like it kind of has a almost ethereal form, when you touch it, it feels physical.
Okay.
You know, it's sort of it almost materializes a little as you reach out to touch it.
Okay.
And he holds on to it as well.
So I'm gonna try to remove my hands because I've let go of.
What
the,
are you letting go of?
So well, I have my hand on the on the
And he
scroll.
has a hand on it. Yep.
Can I relax my hand on the whistle? Is he relaxing his hand on the scroll?
Maybe it's hard to tell. Again, it's spiritual. It's not so physical.
I wouldn't try to parlay for too long, Safira.
Okay,
Just
I'm gonna
take
drop
it.
the whistle and try to
And
take
he
the
takes it
scroll.
and he lets go.
Okay.
And he takes it, and as he sort of clasps his hand around the whistle, it seems like it sort of was enveloped in a sort of vapor, and this physical whistle just sort of vanishes into the air, and so his arm begins to vanish as well, as it sort of travels down his arm, and he fades kind of down into the earth and disappears.
Safira, come back here.
So I come back, and
What
that
have you got there?
That was so brave.
that kind of affected. So he said that he wanted to be released. I think whatever magic they're practicing is of a very dark kind. And so I'm can I open the scroll and read it now? Can I see?
You open the scroll, and it doesn't mean anything to you.
Oh, okay. So can I hand it to Graven and kind
Sure.
of?
What's it say?
Can we stop writing as this is...
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, make an Arcana check.
Jesus Christ.
1.
You don't recognize the markings, but Orba can give it
Hand
a
it to
try.
Orba.
Orba?
Again,
Orba's really excited about this.
make an Arcana check.
10.
10. You look at some of the symbols, and it's not a spell that you've had a lot of experience with, but you've seen the markings enough to know that it's a Feign Death scroll. It's a necromancy spell, and it allows you to touch another creature and put them into a state where it seems like they're dead, not just unconscious, but to anyone detecting it, they would appear dead
Wow.
for a duration of time, which you don't know off the top of your head. But you
Okay.
recognize the mark. Feign Death.
What is it?
It allows you to put on the appearance of being deceased. It allows you to fake a death, essentially. If you cast it on somebody, if I cast it on Beezaura, she would look dead. Not that I'm going to, I don't know how to do it. But
Sounds like it could be useful. Probably not in battle, but otherwise.
well, one day you or I could learn it, and she offers it to him.
Can I walk up to the place where the guy was kind of not standing but existing?
Where the spirit was?
Where the spirit was?
Yeah, I mean, if you're hanging back now, I mean, if you guys stop,
Yeah, I just wanna
a lot of
stop.
time has
We're-
passed.
I thought we
I
were
was running.
going.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
we're
you are
riding.
behind them considerably then, if you're
Okay,
standing.
I just want to take a moment and like kneel
Sure.
and kind of bow my head and see if anything.
Sure.
If nothing. I know it's weird, but
Make a religion check.
I wasn't prepared for that. 20.
20.
What's she
Sort of
doing?
kneel and listen, and where there was some sort of stifling stillness, you hear a little bit of breeze moving through. Some of the branches move. Out of the corner of your eye, maybe a critter goes across a branch. It seems like the sort of
Life is back.
We broke the
essence has
spell.
opened up
Yeah.
a little bit, at least in this area. But again, the desecrated ground is not so strong here.
Right.
But yeah, it seems like a little bit of life has returned to that spot.
I'm gonna call back to her. Safira, if you're done, I think you should catch up with us.
And I kind of like bow almost a little bit and then like walk up to mount my horse and go.
Okay. You guys continue. And you push past the
Hold on to that.
perimeter.
You want-
Oh yeah, did you have something?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
well, just you want me to hold on to it.
You're bigger.
Okay, take that.
Is there anything else? So you push past the forest perimeter, and your horizons open up considerably. The road kind of runs along parallel to what you assume is the Pucara River. Not a roaring rapid, but sort of a steadily churning flow. And it has these kind of steep sloping banks on either side with, you'd estimate, probably 300 feet between them. It's a wide sort of river. And the path levels out here. The horse is sort of able to control their footing much better, and they pick up a little bit of speed as they sort of get onto this solid ground. And it does stop sort of shaking the carriage as much. It sort of returns to a steadier ride. And the expansiveness of the water and this sort of riverside route allow you to see quite far into the distance. And you see the sort of distant outlines of a couple structures marred by a thick cloud of smoke sort of rising up into the sky, sort of expanding in all directions.
So does that like structures? What do you mean by structures?
It looks like it might be the crossing. Like there looks like there are a few buildings in
Right.
the
So it
distance.
might be like like a fort, kind of almost like
How
you
far
know,
away
you
is
have
that?
like some.
It's still probably a good ways away. You can see pretty far from here. I mean, it's probably another hour via carriage to get there.
Safira used the looking glass.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't think I have it in my bag, so I think someone might have to pass it to me.
You had it last.
Did I?
I think you
did,
did have
yeah.
it last year.
Oh, I do have it. Okay, I'm gonna take the looking glass out of my bag
Sure.
and
Take 'em all.
kind of.
Take a look, and through the spyglass, you can see that you can see the crossing. You see the bridge that is the actual crossing,
Yeah.
and you can see that it has sustained heavy damage. I mean, possibly on the brink of collapsing entirely into the river. And there's sort of chunks of stone that are askew. Wooden support beams have been splintered, and you don't see any sign of movement through the glass.
And I wouldn't be able to tell at this distance if this is the kind of river we can cross with a carriage.
Like to
Wade
ride
it?
through it.
Yeah, like
Ford?
to get through the river.
You
is
can
that-
tell that, and you definitely could not.
You couldn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can
It's
not
too
walk
deep in
on
the middle.
water.
It
We
gets deep
could
enough.
reasonably ourselves get across.
It's not.
it
Yeah, it's not roaring so heavily that you couldn't swim it. It would take
with
a little bit, but
horse.
yeah, maybe not.
I don't think that's the best idea.
So I put the spyglass away, and that bridge doesn't look like it's gonna stay standing.
Is it time we started galloping?
Look, it's sustained heavy damage. Something's just happened here. We heard the explosion. I think it's time that we run.
Quickly.
I think we've hit fair pavement here. We should ride fast.
Yeah. So,
Go as fast as you can.
I kind of
Let's
wanna-
go.
Make a perception check as you're sort of increasing the pace of the carriage here.
I say maybe the black lion horses stay in the back just in case you're seen and they think that you're
16.
enemies.
16. So as you're sort of picking up the pace of the carriage, you do sort of keep an eye on your surroundings, and floating down the river, you see a few pieces of wood that have sort of broken off from something, sort of floated, splintered pieces of wood. You see part of a wagon wheel sort of bobbing up and down in the ground, and you get a pretty good look. It looks like it had some red and black paint on it, this wheel. And you also catch a glimpse of a body that's drifted up onto the sort of embankment on your side of the river.
There's a man in there, and black and red.
The man's wearing black and red?
Yes.
The man's wearing
The wheel is black and red.
The wheel is black and red.
Where's the man?
He's just bobbing. I don't know if he's
Can
if
I-
he's
Is
the
he
bad
on,
or the
is he
good.
on the bank?
He's sort of gotten the body has gotten caught in this sort of shallow, rocky area right at the bottom of the
Could I
embankment.
reasonably run over with that? Like, how far away is it from us?
Oh, it's close.
Yeah,
You probably
can
have
I-
to get off the horse. There's like a steep embankment of like, I mean, you could navigate it down there. It might be tough, but
Can I try to navigate the horse? down there?
make an ambling check.
Black and red carriage. Okay.
Either they got defeated.
Almost. We're almost.
16.
16. Yeah. So you take a moment. You sort of slowly the horse kind of.
Yeah.
And you're able to get down, and you can see a woman on her back with shoulder-length dark hair, and it seems like a piece of metal is embedded like up under her rib cage, and it's sticking up, so it's begun to gather bits of like plant matter and algae that has been flowing through the river. And you get closer, and there's a good bit of mud sort of covering her hair and her face. It's not Jillian.
God.
Can I check? And is she alive? Is
You sort of dismount and you move down to the
Yeah.
body, and that's where we're going to take our break.
Oh
I
my
was just about to
God.
ask a question.
Remember that
Write it
question.
down.
Write it down.
The question is she wearing black and red?
We'll be right back. We're going to take a little dinner break. Thank you guys for joining us,
Thank
and
you.
we'll see what it is when we return.
Wow.
Thanks, guys. We'll be right back.
Oh my god.
Bye!
All right, everybody. Welcome back. We're back. We're going to jump back into things. We left off with most people sort of traveling forward in the caravan on horseback. Safira kind of waiting behind, taking a look. What would you like
Is
to
she
do?
in fact alive? That's the first thing I want to check.
You give her sort of a push. You look at her face. She's dead.
She's dead?
Yeah.
Okay. That time you didn't say she looks dead.
She
So
real dead.
She's real dead. Okay, can I... is she wearing black and red?
She is not. No.
She's not?
No.
What is she wearing?
Sort of basic leather armor.
Okay, so she
has
might have
boots
been one of the guards at the crossing or something like that.
or
Could
another traveler. Yeah, she.
So she's wearing light leather armor. Does it have any kind of insignia on it? Or?
No, it seems pretty basic. Yeah.
Okay.
She has like a simple green tunic underneath.
Okay, and can I search her? Does she have anything identifying on her? Like nothing? Like
Make an
does she have any
investigation
kind of
check.
ID or something? Not that you'd have.
Yeah, she has her driver's license.
Does she have a passport on
I
her?
hate you guys.
Investigation 18.
18. You give her sort of a pat down. It seems like there's nothing that sort of identifies her, and it
Yeah.
seems like maybe she has a belt, but it seems like some things may have come off as she sort of drifted down the river.
Okay.
You know,
Okay. So nothing valuable on her.
not
Nothing.
that you can see.
Okay. I'm gonna close her eyes.
Okay.
And then kind of make my way with my horse
Sure.
back up, and I'm gonna
Sort of
try to
navigate.
gallop. Sort of
Yeah,
as
you
soon
can-
as I get on level ground, I'm gonna kind of and
To
like,
pick up, yeah,
pick
catch up.
okay,
to
so
Did you see anything?
I can't identify her. She's dead. She could have been a guard at the crossing, or she could have been a civilian passing through. But whatever it was that hit her, it was like a metal thing, right? It was
Yeah, there was like a piece of metal embedded up
Yeah.
in, like, may have
So
flown
could
off
it
or
have
something.
been like a
Shrapnel.
shrapnel?
Yeah, I
from,
mean
like,
the
explosion?
bridge is probably made of stone and also some wood planks that might have been sort of bolted together with sheets. Yeah, it could have come off of something or a piece of carriage.
So the smoke that's billowing in the distance that we can see,
Yeah.
is it happening like in the middle of the river, or is it sort of happening on what seems like
It's
a bank?
happening what seems like on the far end of the bridge, closer to
Okay.
On your end, there isn't. The structures are all on the other side of the river.
Oh,
See
there's
what I
no
mean?
structures on our end.
Not that you can
Okay.
tell yet. It seems like the sort of base of operations is on the other side of the
But the
river.
bridge we can see seems intact.
It's sound.
No, it does not.
No, it looks like it's falling apart.
The closest part of the bridge to the far embankment is like collapsed inward.
Okay. Good.
So
Looks like there was a deep battle over there.
there's some
Can I have the
kind of
horses?
explosion.
We
Well,
need to get there first.
Yeah.
so as we're
Oh.
galloping, can I take out the spyglass and look and see if I can see any movement?
Yeah, I mean, you sort of are moving along. You take a look and make a perception check.
12.
12. You don't see any movement. The sort of some of the plumes of smoke are obstructing your vision somewhat.
Okay.
You don't see anything yet.
Okay.
And you guys are probably coming up on maybe at a good pace, which you guys are on. Maybe another 30, 45 minutes there. I mean, you guys are moving at a good clip.
Is there another? So right now we're like riding along the river, right?
Yes, you're
Is there-
parallel to the river.
On
yeah.
the other side of the river, does it seem like there is a path on that side of the river as well?
No, where the It does not. Where you cross, it seems like you cross and it would
Continues
go,
to go, yeah.
up more in that direction. Yeah.
We're getting closer. Be prepared for whatever we find up there.
How is the dude, the barbarian capture?
It's unconscious.
Orba gives him another nudge.
God,
Give him a
how
good
long
nudge.
is he gonna be unconscious?
Well, we don't know.
I have my
He
crystal
could
out.
be unconscious for anywhere from 1 to 4 hours.
And it's been like 3, I think, if I've been keeping track.
Yeah, maybe a little less than 3 hours, maybe.
You rolled well,
And
my
just
friend.
as we hit the crossing.
Cool. Alright, I have my crystal out and I'm just waiting.
All
Do I see anything coming or going as we get closer?
right. Make a perception check.
Oh, 1.
Yeah, I mean, you again the sort of smoke is obstructing some of your vision. It's making it hard to see what's on the other side of the embankment. And then,
Okay. So we're just keeping a steady pace. Then I guess we're just gonna keep.
We're moving pretty quick.
yeah,
Yeah.
you guys are moving pretty quick. Yeah, so you guys are coming up on it real fast. Is there anything you want to do before you get to the bridge?
And as long as we keep seeing no one, I'm
Yeah.
content.
Yeah. As long as nothing's coming at us, I'm galloping towards
Okay.
it.
As you guys sort of really move, and you're getting very, very close to the bridge, are you still sort of looking through the spyglass?
Yeah.
Give me one more perception check with advantage now that you've gotten much closer.
10.
10. Okay, so as you look across,
I know I don't have it.
it seems now that you're a little closer, you can see through or at least past some of the plumes, and there's 2 stone buildings that have really been wrecked. I mean, in the explosion, or
Okay.
obliterated, and then there's one building that seems to be mostly still standing. It's kind of like a little steeple spire, like a watchtower
Sure.
almost.
Is
It's-
anyone in the watchtower?
Not that you can see, and it has a top, so it has like a top with little slit windows all the way
Right,
around the outside.
right.
You can't see anyone in it at the moment.
Okay.
That's the only building that seems like intact.
Okay. And we're riding up to the place where the area where the bridge is destroyed. Yeah.
You'd be able to cross at least halfway across the bridge
Halfway across
before
the
it
bridge
would,
before it
yeah, before the sort of
How
wreckage is.
longish is this bridge?
The river's probably like 300 feet wide. It's a good sort of a double arch bridge across the main portion of the river.
So what did you see and did you relay it to us?
No. I mean, I looked up. I can't see if there's anyone in the watchtower yet.
Any signs of life?
I don't see any signs of life.
When we get to the bridge, what do? We can't go all the way
Well,
across.
we have to at least get off our horses and see if we can figure out where this carriage went. If it fell into the river and took Jillian with it, then we have to trace it down the river and find wherever it washed up.
Oh boy.
Based on people with arcane knowledge, based on the debris that we're seeing or the smoke, is the explosion seem magical in nature or physical in nature?
What do we know?
I'm gonna say you can't tell that just by looking at it. Would you like to cast like a detect magic kind of thing?
don't
Okay,
have
yeah, as far as you can tell, it just seemed like an explosion. And again, remember, you heard the explosion a decent ways back now, so there's nothing there that identifies it
Yeah,
to
it's
you.
been like
yeah.
an hour and a
Yeah, it's been
half.
like an hour since, or a little more than
So
that.
things are on fire though.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And we can't tell how much of a gap in the broken bridge.
Not yet. You're probably coming up on it, but
We need to get as close as we can. We need to
Yeah.
Let's keep riding.
All right, so you guys and you get to the bridge part, and it's decent cobblestone construction, this sort of arch bridge, and it has these little parapets on the side that act as a sort of guardrail for some of the comings and goings of the carriages. And you're here in the early evening. I mean, you've made good time, all things considered, some of the obstructions along the way. And closer up, your eyes confirm what you suspected from a distance. Some kind of explosion has left the bridge, partially in shambles. Chunks of stone are kind of collapsed down into the river below and sort of wedged and sandwiched into the central area of destruction where it kind of went down into the water is about a third of a carriage that seems to have snapped and broken off mostly into the water. Has black and red markings painted on the side.
Okay.
And a few iron bars are sort of jutting out in various directions, possibly the remnants of a cage
Okay.
or something.
Are there any signs of life?
I think
She must have gotten out.
Sorry, is it fully in the water? Like, is that accessible via foot or is it in the water?
You'd have to sort of ease your way down some collapsed stone. It's not in the water, but it is in the center of this depressed area.
If we're
someone
stopping
come
here,
with me this time.
I will go.
Yeah.
I'm hopping
If
off
it-
the horse, giving the reins to you, I guess, again, because you're on a horse.
I'm gonna come down.
I was gonna hop off as well.
I
I'm the
just want to
strongest one.
suggest,
People dismount.
if you listen, if there's tight spaces, I think I might have a good view.
And I can heave it if
All
it's.
right, I'll keep the horses.
All right, Beezaura.
I hop down
Sure.
off the carriage.
So are you like, is someone like grabbing and holding as you're sort of
Well,
lowering?
I think we're all going, yeah?
Well, the three of us.
I'm
The
holding
three of
on
us.
to you guys.
Yeah,
all three
I'm-
of you are going down into this depressed sort
Yeah.
of area? Okay, great. You guys make athletic checks for everybody.
Yeah, I'll stay and like watch the
Yeah,
surroundings.
yes.
Yep.
Regular old 20, no natural 20.
Okay.
Athletics, he said?
Yep.
4.
Natural 20, 24.
Natural 20?
Yeah.
So Beezaura, as she sort of steps, she has to make a sort of slight hop down onto the first chunk because of her sort of small stature. And in doing so, the sort of rushing water has made the stone slick and it kind of starts to skid. But Graven grabs her as he sort of pulls
Thank you.
onto a piece. And the two of you are there steady and Erland kind of gracefully hops down to meet you guys there.
It's the corn all over again.
4-footed little one.
You guys slowly descend your way down to
Still
the
no sign of life.
no sign of life, and you get up to basically where this carriage is wedged between a few pieces of rubble, and I mean, there's not much carriage left. You don't see any signs of life. There's no
Blood on the edges.
not
Like,
that you can
nothing.
see. No,
Can I try to lean into it?
sure, you don't see anything. I mean, again, there's not much of this carriage left. Like you're picking up a plank that's covering,
Oh.
There doesn't seem to be any more than rubble here.
Check down if there are any remnants of clothing. Anyone tore their cloth or...
Take a quick look around. You don't see any cloth.
So the bars, do the bars seem as if the damage is consistent with the damage that would be sustained by a crash, or do they seem like bent
Someone
and
has-
forced?
Make an investigation check.
Investigation. 19.
19. Most of the bars seem like they were sort of stuck into like these wood holes that held it into the carriage, and most of them have sort of come loose, so they're sort of loosely fitted in these holes.
It's not like the iron itself is like broken.
No, the iron bars themselves are not bent to your knowledge.
Okay.
And this is like the back of the carriage.
Maybe. Yes. Maybe.
The other end.
Yep.
Is it like singed? Does it look like
Splintered, like to shit. Yeah.
splintered to shit as though it kind of just fell in and broke up, or like there was an explosion that
It looks
hit
like
the
maybe
front
part of
it?
the explosion blew the carriage to pieces.
There seems to be some sort
Because
of...
it's not sort of pressed in as if it hit something. It's like
okay.
outwardly the pieces of wood spreading.
So if we're sort of down
Sorry.
You've come to some conclusions, epiphanies. Bizarre. What is it?
Does it sort of seem like the explosion could have happened from inside the carriage?
Possibly. I don't know how powerful Jillian is, but this would be powerful magic to be able to.
So if we're
If she
sort of,
set it off and then tried to escape from the other side.
I mean, that's my wishful thinking is that it was her. It could be anyone.
could be any number of things. Yes, I mean. So okay, so if we're down a little bit here, and so if we're kind of have to like look up to see where our friends were, and the sort of watchtowers on the other side of the river.
Yeah, you have not gotten to that
Is it
area
possible to, maneuver on top of or around the rubble of the carriage to go
get
up
to
the other side?
yet. Yes.
Can I try to do
It's
that?
a bit of a climb. Yeah, go for it. Athletics check.
Be careful.
Graven's just has his arms out ready to catch him.
4.
Or so you sort of hop to try to grab a piece of the stone, and it doesn't even slip. It crumbles in your hands and sort of make a dexterity save, both of you, as you try to catch her as she comes down.
Ow!
Save.
13.
16.
16. Great. So the piece comes off, and the two of you kind of reach to grab her, and the kind of piece of stone that you were grabbing onto, they catch you, and it kind of it hits you in the head as it comes down. You take 1 bludgeoning damage from the pop in the head, and there's a little bit of blood sort of forming above her eyebrow.
Let's go a little slower, Beezaura.
Sorry.
Now I kind of see that. What's going on down there?
Nothing. She's fine. It just tripped. Is there any other bodies that, like?
You don't see bodies. No.
Do I see body parts?
No.
So,
Again,
No,
see
you-
bodies.
You said yeah, like bodies all together.
You were like, what do you mean by that?
Yes.
How much constitutes a body?
I mean,
Like 60%?
I mean, there are fingers all over
Yeah,
the place.
yeah.
I didn't tell you guys
Fingers
that.
not a
The other
body.
bodies.
You stepped on a few fingers together.
So,
Anyway.
I'm going to say loud enough so that our friends up top can sort of hear. There's no other way for the carriage to get across in this area.
The carriage? No.
Great. The carriage for the moment has to stay there, yes?
Yeah, look, someone probably should guard it. First thing.
I think 2 people should guard it and 3 should come across to the other side and see what's going on.
And
Who's
Safira,
the
make,
one
a,
who's
make a
on?
perception check really quick because you're sort of staying there at the wagon.
9.
No, do it with advantage.
Yeah, 'cause
Orba's
I was
there also.
helping.
Yeah, it should be
15.
15. So you take a look, and in addition to their route, which is sort of going down and coming back up the other side, there are sort of 2 other things that catch your eye. One of them is that sort of stone parapet that acted as a railing. It does seem like it remained intact on the right side, although the sort of structure underneath has been blasted away. So the stone is there. You
it's
don't
like a
know that
balance
you don't know that it could support your weight. And then the other thing is there seems to be this sort of remains of a pulley system that looked like it had been used to raise and lower cargo onto ships into the river.
Okay.
Most of it's been blasted away. The platform is no longer there, but there is sort of a jutted up beam with a pulley and a rope sort of dangling off on the side.
Okay.
So and is that rope long enough that in theory you could like swing across, or is the river far too long wide for that?
You could swing across the gap in the bridge, yes. The rope is currently hanging in the middle. You'd have to leap for it.
It's hanging on top
We don't have
of the
anything
bridge.
long enough, like a staff
Yeah, so
to
it's
kind
like it's on one of the sides of the
have
bridge.
my
There's a
hands.
beam sticking up with a
Yeah.
little pulley on top and a rope dangling down. But the rope dangling down is over like a.
And how
an
far are
opening.
we from that?
Well, you guys are down in the. You guys are.
Right.
You cannot grab that from here. That's like if you go back up, or Safira and Orba could theoretically leap.
And the river seems too deep to just sort of like, or rough to sort of swim across.
It's not super rough. You could maybe swim.
Alright, let's climb back up, yes?
Yes.
Look, if we encounter these barbarians, 2 things. I think it's probably best for us to be together, so I'm not sure what we're going to do with the carriage, but I think we might want to be together, and I think we might want to bring our friend along with us.
We should.
That's
Whoa.
Is
I
it
don't think
possible
delicious.
to, since it crumbled so easily when I tried to grab it, is it possible to like break it down and create like a path to walk on?
No, because it's the part
beams?
that's. You could try and knock a beam down to make a cross. You're down in this sort of depressed area where
Yeah.
it exploded and fell, but if you took pieces off of it, there's nowhere to put the pieces of stone. You know what I mean?
like
The
they
water's
would-
too
you
deep.
can't like leave them.
Yeah, the water's
Okay.
too deep for anything like that.
We should, before we do anything drastic, we should, a couple of us, 3 of us, 2 of us, should just see what's on the other side first. There is another crossing in this river. It's several days away, but this is not the only way to get across the river. So if something is on the other side, we just need more
Look, I just
information
don't
before we
want to
make...
lose the trail.
I agree, but we should not make any rash decisions. Who's coming with me across?
I'll come with you across.
How are you going across? Which of the methods would you like to
Get ready to catch me with one of your hands.
What? I can't do that.
no way. That's
What
impossible.
are you doing?
Out of your mouth. What are you trying?
If
Gonna
you
point at the
can,
rope.
Oh,
if she can hand the rope back to us, and I'll give a tug
Yes.
on it to
How
see
about-
if it's worthy of our weight.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
not do anything reckless.
I would like to point out for future events, I cannot catch you with my hand. I might be able to help you in other ways, but not the hand.
I cannot catch you.
Yes, I'm
Emotionally.
Yeah.
Just pets.
Erland doesn't really know what to do with that information.
And Orba doesn't sit on it. She casts.
So I'm gonna proceed then over towards the rope that's hanging there, I
And
guess.
you were.
Were you going to say something?
Well, yeah.
Test it.
Yeah.
I want to.
Okay.
Let me give a tug on it. If you
Yeah.
can bring it
Orba
to
casts Mage Hand
Sure,
at the rope.
Hand appears, and it grabs the rope, and you're able to swing it, and you're able to grab it.
It only needs to hold my weight, Goliath.
Rude.
Well, let's just
And
say
I
it
just
holds
couldn't-
any weight.
Well, I wouldn't want you testing it with your strength and breaking it because you are decidedly stronger than me.
I'll tug it.
I'm the one jumping. Why am I not the one tugging it?
Good luck.
You realize it has to hold your entire body weight, right?
I'm gonna give it a good tug. Does it break?
It gets taut, doesn't break. Yeah, kind of.
Great. I'm gonna
Well,
take a
best
few
of
steps back
luck.
as far as I can.
No. Go.
And I'm gonna run and jump and try and rope swing onto the other side.
Acrobatics
God.
check.
Yeah.
14.
14. He takes a couple steps and he goes, and as he goes across a little bit of the gap, the pulley kind of sort of groans a little bit, but it swings across.
Stupid.
And you're over across. You get
I
away.
sort of roll and dust myself off.
Seems like with a
course,
little bit of
Erland.
extra weight it might have given. So
I think that leaves our Goliath friend on the other side.
I see that this beam that's like still intact.
Yep.
Could I reasonably walk across it?
It's sticking up.
You mean the brick wall?
The parapet,
I
yeah.
thought. I misunderstood.
Oh, I pictured it. Yeah, like
It's two things.
a beam.
There was a stone parapet, like a
Yeah.
like a sidewall. Yeah, that's still
Yeah.
intact.
Yeah, can
Is that
I
what you were
walk
talking
across
about?
it?
Yeah, you could. You said the beam. I thought you meant the wooden.
Yeah, can
What
I,
do you mean?
Can
What
I try to walk
stone
across
wall?
it to the...
There's a thin stone wall on the right side that looks like it has not been blown apart.
Oh.
Can I start to...
Because it's very
There's
thin
nothing
and there's
Oh.
nothing
There's
underneath
nothing
it.
underneath it.
Can I start to test my weight on it?
Sure.
And see
Take a
if it
couple
holds?
steps toward. It
Yeah.
holds.
It holds.
Orba has her crystal out.
I want to try to make like a dash across
Handspring.
it.
Handstand spring.
Sure.
Right.
So I want to try to
Tiptoe.
sprint just to get to the other side.
How much do you weigh?
I don't know.
I know, you shouldn't ask. No, it's in your character.
You never ask a half.
That was a rude question.
much do you
That's okay,
weigh?
yes.
It's not.
It's
on
not
that.
relative to this, I just
It's
want to know.
on page where your
Just want to make a
Oh,
note.
I weigh 135 pounds.
Okay. You take a few quick steps. Make an acrobatics check for me. It's very thin, so you're sort of running on slightly thicker than a balance beam.
8.
And sort of one of the feet kind of slips and sort of gives way. Make a dexterity saving throw as you sort of try to catch the beam. She's not close enough to you to grab her.
20.
20,
Not
so-
natural 20. It's
Okay,
like-
yeah, so you slip, but you sort of, as you start to fall, you grab them, so now you're sort of hanging on the underside of this
Can I
wall.
crawl up and try to grab her and pull her up?
Sure, she's sort of
I got you!
slowly.
No, stop. I want to try to make it to the other side.
Okay.
So I'm going to try
What?
to...
I'm
Well, you're
trying to-
shimmying after her. Okay, and you're shimmying
I'm
away. So
shimmying
one's
away.
shimmying and
Oh my
one's
God.
falling.
Yeah.
We're just Graven's just on the other
And
side.
for a second there, as both of you are kind of in the middle, it starts to... but Safira gets to the other side, and Erland can kind of pick her up from there. And you're sort of shimmying across, you see her?
Yeah, I'm very light.
Yep.
I'm gonna go back to my sort of ready position.
Yeah, and when you're sort of lightweight in stature, you are able to sort of, you're kind of grabbing it on both
Yeah.
sides and shimmying
Like going
across.
like this.
Yeah, and you make it all the way across, the three of you.
How's the close one, huh?
All right. Are there any it's stone, right? So there's no signs of like footsteps or anything like that, or
Not on the bridge, no, yeah.
okay.
Can I just
Call
run
some.
across to the other side?
To the other, you are on the other
Oh,
side.
we already made it. I thought it was like on the middle.
On the other side of the part of the bridge.
So
that
wait,
is
Yeah.
collapsed.
we were passing... Which way is this river flowing? Is it flowing
It was
like,
flowing, as you were traveling parallel to it, it was flowing the opposite
way?
direction. Yeah.
So that means that if the wagon had in fact fallen, like half of the wagon had fallen, right, then it would have been
Come from us.
Drifted.
drawn back towards
back,
where we were.
yes, not in the
So
direction.
it got blown to smithereens because we didn't see any more parts of it.
Unless it had already flowed past you when you got there.
Right.
So
Is
do we
that convenient for that?
on this side as Erland sort of moves forward along the bridge? Are we very quietly? Is there any disturbances? Is there any more damage? Or does this side seem fairly
Yeah,
clean?
but how are you trying to sort of sneak your way in here? Yeah, make a stealth check. Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to the carriage and check on the guy.
Sure, he's awake. I mean, sorry. He's asleep.
Rolling. Wait, dude. Stop. He's awake.
Sorry.
He's asleep.
Natural 20.
Great. So you
And
quietly.
that makes it 24.
I mean, the sounds of the rushing water and sort of some of the crackling of things on fire mask your footsteps very, sort of, it's difficult to hear. And as you sort of move up on the far side of the river, two small buildings that may have served as a kind of guardhouse, booth of some kind, they've been blown apart. I mean, only like 2 of the walls are standing. There's more damage here on the far side as well. It wasn't just the bridge that sustained.
So does that seem to be of the same single blast, or does it seem like there were multiple blasts?
Well, we would
That's
have
hard
heard
to tell.
them. Probably, right? We were in close enough.
I mean, there's
proximity
enough
that maybe
damage
heard.
here that it
That
could
it's
be one
one.
big explosion.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still no signs of life, no signs of...
No more carriages.
No carriages. Make a perception check.
And again, this isn't the crossing. This is
This
just
is the crossing.
This is the crossing.
Bruh.
They crossed
What
it.
did you think it was?
It crosses. It's a crossing. I get it.
Yeah.
11 for my perception.
You take a look around, and you do, behind some of the plumes and walls, sort of chest-high broken walls, you see some bodies. Possibly people that have sort of that standard leather armor, maybe guards, maybe travelers, and a couple bodies with tattooed black hands on the ground. It seems like they all seem dead, the ones that you can see. They're not moving at all.
Can I sort of... How many are there?
6.
And they're all fairly close to me, or kind of spread around?
Spread a little bit. There's probably 3 very close to you on the as you sort of leave.
Can I
your
go
ferry.
around and
The
like
ones,
see if
the
there's
3
anything on them?
Oh,
Yeah.
the 3 that were close to me, I was going to check out.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Investigation. Both of you can make investigation checks. Yeah.
10.
29. No worse. 6.
6. You don't find anything of particular value. One thing that you do notice is that they don't have their weapons drawn, perhaps suggesting that the explosion took them by surprise. Like they weren't in the middle of a conflict when the explosion went off.
And
Their weapons are like
I'm telling you, I don't think it was either side. I think someone did this from an external force.
that's possible, yes. Hopefully it was Jillian. Is the watchtower on this side?
yeah, the watchtowers. Yeah.
How long would it take me to climb the watchtower? Like, how big is it?
To climb the outside.
No, to like go inside and
Oh,
walk up the
walk.
stairs.
It's probably like 3 stories tall.
Okay, great. I would like to... That's like right there, like right next
It's
to me.
pretty close. It's probably another 50 feet away from the 2 buildings that got hit by the blast really hard. So the watchtower is still standing pretty solidly as far as you can tell.
If I can get up to the top of that with the spyglass, then I might be able to see. If this was Jillian, if she engineered this, which I hope to God it was, then maybe I'll be able to see her. She would have been downriver.
Excellent. Let's go. And
So I'm
sort
gonna
of
start to
go
move.
with her.
Walk up.
And as you're starting to move towards the tower, you see what looks to be a survivor. You see a middle-aged man sort of sitting upright, and he's holding his hands like tight in his lap, back flat up against sort of the barren remnants of was maybe once some kind of booth, like a piece of, like a stone wall of some kind. And he seems to have sort of a shallow breathing.
There's someone
I'm
there.
rushing up to him, and I'm gonna sort of like try and support his neck a little
Yep,
bit.
and he kind of slumps into you a little
Yeah.
bit.
I'm gonna give him. We have water skins,
Yeah.
right? I'm gonna just give him. I'm gonna
want
give him a
that?
little bit of water.
And as his head kind of turns, you can see the other side of his face, which appears to be blackened and not with ash or like soot or tattoo ink. It seems to be like gangrenous, like withering, like decaying part of his
The
face.
part of the side that the hand part that I'm touching.
No.
Good.
Can you hear me?
And he kind of like he looks around almost like it's hard to place
focus,
the
yeah.
voices. Yeah. And he says a few things. How did they know? Tell me how they knew.
What happened, my friend?
How do they know what?
During the war, this crossing was an important supply route under the Emperor's control. He was worried that the rebels might attempt to take over. So he planted 20 barrels of necrocilium in a chamber underneath the bridge. And when the war ended, it was easier to just seal off the chamber than it was to transport the explosives. But so few people knew. I think I was the last person at the crossing who knew.
Who set it off, friend?
I don't know. Explosion came. And he sort of loosely focuses on your eyes, but it's hard for him to sort of catch his back. I don't know.
Are there any other survivors?
There were.
Where did they go?
A couple ran off on horseback. A couple of black lions started to raise the dead. And they wandered off. And then at least one or two, and he sort of turns his head towards the spire, fled into the guard tower.
In which direction did the people run off in?
Just to the north.
Along the path, continuing along the path.
Yes.
Everyone who has survived ran along the path, and then 2 went into the guard tower.
As far as I could tell.
Do you have any family, friend?
I do.
Where?
I have a mother and 2. Jasmine. No sisters. No brothers.
Where are they?
In Mukmu.
What's your name, friend?
My name is Taden Othmar.
We will tell them of your heroics today, friend.
Thank you. It can't be healed. And he sort of loosely points up to his necrotic. No healing. But there is an antidote of sorts. It's a Reposis. We kept some in the storage shed. And he sort of points over to one of the buildings that's kind of been broken down. It has potions and the like.
What does it look like?
It's sort of a grayish black liquid. We keep it in vials.
So I'm gonna run
Beezaura, go with her. Beezaura, go with
the
her.
storage unit.
Certainly, too. So you go in, and the place is in ruin. I mean, most of it's built, it's splintered wood, cabinets, broken tables, sort of in upheaval. Make an investigation check. Yeah, both of you. We'll take the higher one.
Advantage.
No, we'll take the higher of the 2 of you.
I got 8. What'd you get?
We don't add anything?
Yeah, you had.
We got our
Investigation.
modifier.
12.
12. Okay, you guys sort of take a quick look around, and there seems to be one cabinet that's still relatively intact.
There.
Kind of sort of fling the things open, and you do see a few potions there. It seems like there's definitely 2 healing
Any
potions. You
gray
would recognize those.
Can I just...
Yeah, let me just... There's
Yes,
2
sir.
sort of vials of the gray liquid that might be
Yeah.
what he's talking about, and 2 other liquids still intact in these sort of potion bottles that aren't familiar to you. There's sort of flickering orange substance inside of one.
Okay.
And then another one that has a sort of clear brackish liquid in it.
I want to take everything.
Yes.
What
I'll
are
take
what are you
half of
grabbing
it.
first?
I'll take the gray, you take the
I'll
others.
take everything else.
Who's grabbing
Yeah.
what first?
Oh shit.
Who flung the
I opened it.
Oh,
She
yours
opened
was
it.
higher, so yeah, you opened it. What are you grabbing first?
The one that
Gray
looks like
vials.
what he's talking
Great.
about.
So you grab that, and as you do, the sort of weakened wood from the explosion, it begins to sort of crumble. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh god.
As you reach for some of the other ones that sort of appear to be falling.
That one?
Yeah.
15.
15. So you grab the one vial that seemed to be what he described, and as it starts to fall, you tuck it under your arm quickly, and you're able to grab 2 more things. What 2 do you grab? There was 2 healing potions, 2 vials of the sort of blackish liquid, the orange one that you didn't recognize, and the sort of clear brackish liquid that you didn't recognize.
Oh wow, there's a lot.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
So I
but
have
you have one of the vials of what he was talking about,
Okay.
and you can grab 2 more before they crash to the ground.
The orange one.
Okay, sure. And
Oh, and what were the other ones?
there's 2 healing potions, 1 more vial of the substance the man was talking about, and sort of a clear brackish liquid that you don't recognize.
A healing potion.
Great. So you grab a healing potion in the orange liquid, and you hold the other one sort of up against your chest, and you hear the rest of them kind of.
Can I see her
shatter to the
struggling
floor.
and kind of help
Yeah,
her?
and you can grab one of them. And you look down, and it looks, on the ground, there's maybe a thin layer of a bunch of potions have broken and are sort of mixing
we've
together.
gotta get out of here
These
now.
sort of brownish liquids. They don't seem volatile to you,
Oh.
as far as you can tell.
Normally, when things mix like that, I'm just expecting
Like an
something to
Alex and
explode.
Act situation.
I mean, it's kind of nasty.
Can
There's like
I
a lot
look?
of
I'm
sort of brownish
faster. I
liquid.
can run. So can I hold out my hand for the gray vial because I want to run it to him?
Yeah.
Because I don't know how long he has.
Great, so
So
you
I'm
can
I've
gonna,
been sort of comforting
I'm
the
gonna
man.
sprint.
Sure. So
with
you've got
gray
the
vial.
vial in your hand. Make a medicine check.
Okay.
What is that?
11.
11. So in your
She's a doctor.
military training, you've heard of this, ripostus is what he called it.
Yeah.
And this was developed to combat necromancers because drinking it prevents a body from being able to be turned undead. You would drink it if
But
you
it's
were...
not going to heal him.
It also triggers sort of a numbing effect in the body and can drift you into unconsciousness. It doesn't heal him, no.
Oh, buddy.
Nothing, and he said nothing heals. Will I, in my knowledge, do I know that to be true? That nothing will heal?
I mean,
this?
yeah, when you're sort of the necrotic damage prevents most magical, mundane versions of healing without a powerful spell at your disposal. Yeah.
Can I like shuffle? I shuffle.
Yeah, you're sort of
behind her.
holding these and you're sort of
Yeah.
running behind Safira.
So I.
Before you give it to him, in the chance that one of us or our friends ends up like him, do you think we should save it for ourselves?
No, I don't. I think we give it to him. I think we let him die peacefully.
You've got the vial, so you
Yeah.
You
can
have the
decide.
vial, which means you have the final decision, but he's going to die either way.
Look, this isn't going to heal him.
Right. He's not going to be healed, and we need to continue
It
on our
wouldn't
journey.
heal us either. It would let us go peacefully, but it's not going to save us from that kind. It's.
But who knows how long you can live like that if you have the vial in you.
I doubt very long. Would I know?
If you drink it can knock you unconscious. It doesn't kill you,
Oh.
if that's what you're thinking. Yeah, it's not poison.
It's not poison.
It
No,
also-
I'm saying, like, can you go on living for a while once you take that? With the
living,
disease.
yes.
Like, I'm saying, like, if you have the stuff and you take the gray liquid.
Oh, it's not preventing you
No,
from dying.
it's not.
It's
You're-
preventing you from being brought back from the dead as
Yeah.
a un-
So it's, you're gonna die in a battle.
Yes, it does
He's
not
gonna
prevent
die.
you from dying.
Like if there were still necromancers around.
If they were attempting to raise dead bodies,
It
they
just
could
means
not
that
raise
you're
this.
prevented
Yes,
from
your body
your
is at
spirit getting trapped by
He
the
just- yeah, he
necromancer
wants to-
that
he wants to
fucking
rest.
die in peace. He doesn't want to be a tool for these people. So I'm gonna walk over to him and
Well, so they were gone for a little bit, right?
For a quick moment, couple
and I was
minutes,
with
yeah.
him, right?
Yep, yep.
Who went into the watchtower? Was it Black Lion?
I'm not sure.
Or was it your friends?
I don't think it was one of my friends. I didn't recognize the face, but they were chased.
They were chased.
Was it a man or a woman?
This is
This is just Erland.
Oh, sorry.
Get out of here.
I don't want to talk to you.
Who were they chased by?
A creature. A serpent of some kind.
Where did this serpent go?
Up into the tower.
The serpent went into the tower with these two people.
Yes.
Was one of the people that ran into the tower a woman?
It might
With
have
red
been.
hair.
I don't know.
Think, friend.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh my god. Oh.
So you're sort of unable to shake him out of his sort of
Ah.
skin. I don't know.
All right. We're gonna do what we can for you. So, just so I'm very clear, there's a serpent and two people in the tower, and then a group of your friends and a group of Black Lion escaped and continued north on the path.
I think so. It was also fast.
Yes, of course. Of course.
A few people definitely got out.
Was there a caravan on the bridge when it exploded? Did you stop it?
There was, yes.
Did a man named Robert Bastille tell you to stop the carriage?
Oh, I wasn't in charge. You're looking for Captain. And he sort of looks over and there's a body on the ground that's sort of, wearing a sort of slightly nicer set of armor.
But were you instructed to hold them up?
Yes, we were.
And after you held them up, it exploded?
Sometime later, yes.
So how much time, how long?
Half a day, perhaps.
Oh, yeah, okay.
They got very angry. The barbarians, they didn't like being held up. There
Did
was
you
a lot of arguing.
Did you search the caravan?
We did not.
You just held them up?
There was a prisoner in the back.
Yes,
We had no legal right to force them to let them go.
of course. And you didn't see where the prisoner went after the explosion?
No, I wasn't on the bridge for the explosion. That's the only reason I lived.
All right. How big was the serpent?
Big. 15, 20 feet, and mostly bones. An undead creature of some kind, perhaps.
All right.
And Safira makes her way over.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make my way over, and I have the liquid. I'm gonna take both of his hands and give it to him.
He sort of takes it.
Yeah.
Thank you. And he sort of looks at you, and you can kind of see it in your face that you know what it is.
Yeah.
Thank you. And he sort of brings it. And he drinks it. And he kind of sits for a moment. His breathing slows. And his eyes kind of drift.
I'm sort of jostling him. Is this not healing him?
Erland, there's no
And he sort of
healing
slumps
him.
down inside.
Did you just poison this man to death?
No, I did not just poison this.
Then what just happened to him? What did we just give him?
I gave him something that will prevent him from being raised again from the dead. I gave him what he asked, which was a peaceful death. You weren't going to get any other information out of him.
That's not what I'm sort of dealing with, the fact that a man just died in my arms.
Yeah.
There was no healing him.
Tell Orba and Graven to get over here.
And I kind of like make a look at him to see if he's like just gonna stay and deal with it, and then I'll walk up and.
Beezaura has the potions. Yeah, she's.
So and we're standing on the other.
Are you
side.
staying with Erland there? Sort
Yeah.
of. Sure.
We're on the other side of the bridge, so can I kind of?
Yeah, and you guys could see a little bit of what you saw them sort of move over to something. You saw Safira and Beezaura kind of quickly move. You know, you can't hear what's going on, but you can.
Right. So can we shout to them?
Oh yeah, and Safira is coming up to you.
Yeah.
So,
Is everyone all right?
Yeah, everyone's all right. There's a man who's died in a terrible way. He thinks that there are people who have gone into the tower. We need your help. We need you over here. We need to figure out who's up
I
there.
don't know if I can safely get over there.
They're yelling across that sort of
Bridge.
part of the bridge. That's a good ways away from you. I don't think they can hear you from where.
No, my question is, can I hear them yelling? Okay.
You can hear that they're yelling back and forth. You can't hear what they're saying.
Okay, I'm gonna look at Beezaura. Go tell her to be quiet. There are people still in the tower.
Okay. Do I have my backpack on?
Beezaura.
Do I have my backpack?
I think if you brought it with you, yeah.
Can I just put
you
them
can
in
take
my
a moment
bag?
to put them in your bag.
There's a serpent beast and 2 people in the tower. It might be Jillian, we don't know. Tell
Okay.
her to be quiet.
Alright, and I run to the edge of the...
Sure.
Yeah. Psst!
What?
Should keep your voices down. There's 2 people up there in the watchtower, plus a serpent.
And I kind of look
What?
at the distance between the watchtower and us and go,
You never know who's up there, you know.
It's a good distance away, but yeah, you never know.
I don't know if I can get over this safely.
Seemingly the only way for someone of your size would be kind of the way
Going
Beezaura
down
tried to go,
and
going
back
down
up,
and
but
up.
even that is.
Well, maybe I could boost you up and get you safely up there
And then try yourself.
and maybe try myself.
I'll go with you.
All right, if you think that you need us over there.
I'll stand on the other side to catch her.
hang on, I think we might not need you.
I think everyone should get to the other side of the bridge.
Orba starts tying up
You realize
whatever horses we have.
She's
in
not
town.
usually this worried. I'm coming.
So we're gonna leave the carriage then? I
I'm
guess?
tying up the horses
Okay.
right now.
Yeah.
Do we leave that guy?
He's tied up.
Yeah, I'm gonna I'll shimmy down
Whatever.
first so I can like,
Yeah,
kinda
you
help
and
Orba.
this one, because you went down there before, you know the spots that you can sort of hold that won't give way. So you're able to. And are you going with him?
Yeah, I'm going with him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're able to
and
sort of
I'll
guide her
help
down.
Guide her down, and then
What's up
Can
before?
I do a thing that might influence something?
Sure.
First I'm gonna pat the guy
I
down.
love things that influence things.
First I'm gonna pat the guy down now that everyone's gone.
Sure.
The guy who just passed
Cute.
out of my arms.
Yep. He's got 4 gold, 2 silver on him.
Excellent.
everybody's getting gold off of
I
dead
need to
bodies
know.
up in this piece.
I
I
need
got
to
some
I mean, most people, a lot of
I
people
need
have
you
like a
to,
little pouch, coin pouch that they.
I just mean that
How much
I've
I
never
have.
searched anybody for
And-
gold.
What's up?
Because I'm an idiot.
Never played video
Oh,
games.
okay.
So, as Erland does that, no one's watching
I
him.
know,
So
but
like,
no ones.
It was like 6 and 1.
I'm actually gonna like sort of think about it for a second before I take the gold, and then I am indeed gonna take the gold though. And the watchtower's fairly close to me, right?
Yeah, it's probably like another 75 feet away from you.
Great. I'm gonna go up to the watchtower door and just check to see if it's locked.
You walk up to it. It doesn't seem like it's locked, but it seems like it's pressed in and dented a little bit, like maybe whatever went through with a great deal of force.
Okay, but it seems like we would be able to get in without the use of, say, a portable
With a good With multiple people and a good yank, it might open without
Great.
it. Yeah.
Excellent.
Make a perception check as well as you're standing at the sort of.
That's
foot.
all I
I
wanted to
swear
check.
to
Bring the ram.
Perception check.
Like Erland.
8.
8. As you're sort of standing
Has to
there
be worth
at
it.
the door, sort of taking a look and assessing the damage, you hear kind of a repetitive sound, like something banging against something.
Okay.
Repeatedly.
You gotta get up there.
Get
up there fast.
Good. I'm gonna. Can I see? I can't see them from where I'm standing. Can I?
You went all the way to the tower? Not really.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to check. Okay. Just wanted to do a ram check.
So you are now the two of you are attempting to ascend the other
I'm gonna
side.
try
Yes.
to push her up and then.
Both of you make athletics checks with advantage, as also Safira and Beezaura are trying to help you up the other side.
19.
19.
Athletics,
Yep.
right? Sorry. 16.
Great. So the two of you kind of boost Orba up, and the two of you kind of each grab an arm and pull her up, and then Graven is able to sort of find his footing and hoist himself up, and all three of you kind of grab him. And you're able to. The stone's kind of slick, but you're able to sort of pull yourself back up the other side.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna head towards towards the tower then, the watchtower.
Yeah. Are you guys following her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. You guys make your way. You see Erland kind of
I'm gonna.
signaling to you guys. You can see.
And I kind of like crouch down and come quietly. Like he's in-
How big is the watchtower?
It's like 3 stories tall. It looks like it's about 3 stories.
All right. It seems like something is trying to break through something inside the watchtower. If I could make a guess, one of the survivors told us that there was a serpent, some sort of bony, perhaps undead serpent creature,
Oh, brilliant.
and 2 people ran into the tower. I don't know who the 2 people were. The man didn't get a good look at them, but it sounds like my guess is the creature. They have barricaded themselves inside, and the creature's trying to break down the door.
Let's go.
We shouldn't lure the creature out here? What are the odds that we're going to be able to fight the creature, all 5 of us, up in a slim
The
staircase?
creature might hear us once we break down this door. But I would suggest that whoever is the strongest, given that it is a staircase, should be in front.
Are there any windows
thing
around
Graven
this
has.
Like, is there any?
On the top floor, there was a few.
Yeah, but there's
slits.
slanting, obviously. Yeah. Okay.
I guess you're insinuating I go first?
No, I'm actually insinuating that she should go first.
Strongest?
I am
ability-
quite strong, Graven,
I
even
say
though I'm
that-
not quite as big as you.
I would suggest that you break down the door, because you seem to be very good at that. But then I would suggest that she goes in first.
I'll be right behind you.
I'll do it.
You're also very good at making noise, so. All right.
Right.
I'm gonna
Everyone
kick this
ready?
door in. Athletics check with advantage. We'll say that people are sort of.
Oh my god.
Again!
All right, you lost your advantage.
I'm on it? It's 16.
Yeah.
You lost
Well,
me.
that's so with
I'm
advantage.
not sure if that counts, but.
Sure thing counts.
20.
Great. So you guys sort of wind up, and you're all sort of in ready positions. And Graven kind of takes 2 steps and hits it with his foot, and it kind of and it sort of scrapes against the bottom of the floor. And that noise that you heard, the kind of it stops, and there's some silence,
You're up, Beezaura.
and then the sound resumes.
That's just the noise. It's not hitting. There's nothing hitting us.
You can't see anything. So what you can see with the
3
door
stories up.
flung open is just a spiral staircase, like going up
And
around. It's not an open.
I have dark. I mean, is it dark? Is it?
It's dim. It seems like there were some oil lanterns in here. That a couple of them are still lit. So I mean, again, people
Okay,
were
and
operating this.
it's
not
a
long.
small chamber. Like I can, with my eyes, like reasonably look at everything that's in
Yeah,
there.
there's a very small
No, I just mean
circular
like
room.
I don't have to like fit.
No, and
yeah.
there's nothing in here. There's a couple crates of like maybe you're not sure what's in them, and then
Okay.
a spiral staircase around the ridge of the room that's going up onto a second floor.
I'm gonna start up the stairs.
Yeah, I'm
Right
behind you.
Orba's gonna stay outside the door.
Yeah, that's smart.
Well,
You can say outside.
Yep.
Okay.
all right. I mean, if you stay close to me, you can come inside, but
Okay.
She starts to move. Pecking order here. Who's going where? Beezaura's in the front. Who's behind
I'm
Beezaura?
behind her.
Who's next?
Erland.
I guess it's me.
Erland, and then Graven with Orba behind. You guys start to make your way up the stairs, and as you do, the pounding gets louder. It's sort of.
We're getting closer.
And you can hear you get up to the sort of second floor, and there's another landing sort of area that's very empty. It has a few chairs and a table, like some cards splayed out around the table. Looks like sort of a rec area for some of the soldiers. Relax. And the sound gets louder.
Any damage?
Yeah,
It doesn't seem damaged.
The structural integrity of this is still pretty good.
Seems
right?
pretty solid. You haven't seen any evidence that it's crumbling.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully that doesn't fail
all
on us because
go
that
down
would
with
be
it.
dead.
End of stream.
All of us,
See everyone.
Goodbye.
You're on
Let's
second.
keep going.
Continue to go.
Carefully, quietly.
Great. Stealth checks up to the third floor here.
You motherfucker.
19.
Fuck me.
Am I gonna be the only stealthy one?
7.
7.
I rolled natural 1.
I did the best on
19.
stealth.
No, 19.
Oh, okay.
I
Just
got
hold on my sword.
Hold your horses.
I'm sorry.
So you guys are continuing up, and the staircase gets a little narrower as you continue up to the third floor. And in doing so, Erland creeping along, the staff sticking out his back kind of scrapes against the side of the wall, kind of.
Quit it!
And you guys continue, and the banging stops, and you hear sort of a scraping across stone.
Sorry.
And
Sounds
you hear
like a
it kind of-
chain.
Seems like it's moving in one direction and the other. You guys are all-
Something's up there.
Sounds like it could be an undead snake to me.
My guess is what she
You
said.
hear it again.
The bones of the serpent.
Beezaura, attack it.
Keep moving.
We can't see it.
Go and see it.
You guys step. And you peek your head up, and there's another landing on this third floor, and you see 15-20 feet, sort of just the bone skeleton of a large serpent creature.
It's definitely up here.
And it kind of is looking around, and it seems like maybe it's even peeking out one of the windows for a second. And then it kind of across the store like slithers, and there's a door on the far side of the landing, and it goes back to, and it's like banging its skull into this sort of iron door at the far end of this room.
Can I take out my flail
You can.
and just try to get him?
You gonna charge forward?
Sure.
So Beezaura gets up to the third landing, and she sees the beast kind of with its attention distracted, and she's gonna, and she leans over and goes in for make an attack roll.
Yeah.
Rolling other. Oh no, that was not the right one. I didn't mean to do that.
Was it a D20?
No. Yeah.
Then you gotta take that one.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to roll it yet. Which one is it?
Things go.
It's your weapon at the bottom.
Oh.
Your flail.
So,
Do you not get
A 7.
You might have made a little too much noise for it to
Alright,
be
you know
truly
what?
taken by surprise.
You know, guys?
What was the roll?
7.
7 misses.
Was
So
very stealthy.
Beezaura goes in, and the footsteps at the last second it kind of hears, and and the bones kind of rattle against the floor, and it kind of coils itself, and the ball of the flail kind of hits into the middle of the snake, and it kind of wraps itself around the flail, and and the flail goes flying across the room. Everybody roll initiative.
Yep. That's the way.
Alright, guys, 2 combats in 1 session.
Even me?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god!
wow.
I am the worst!
Yikes.
You get a little. I guess no, you failed.
It's literally 3.
Yeah, but you.
So this is the top
Where's
landing
initiative?
area, and this is the staircase going all the way down. And this presumably was where the second landing was.
Why's all that mapped out?
Was well
That's what we climbed up.
I don't like that.
That's what we
this
climbed
is
up.
the door that the serpent was banging its head against.
That's why I wanted to stay outside.
Second landing there, and
And
Cowardice.
Damn, man.
So
Wait,
Boy, I hope
Beezaura had snuck up
Me too.
here.
Oh my god, I'm depressed.
And what was the order after that again? It was
Alright, well,
Beezaura,
It was me. I'm
Safira.
right behind her, and then it's
and you guys were waiting sort
then
of
it's
at the foot
Erland,
of the
and then
stairs,
it's
waiting for her to poke her head
Graven,
up.
and then it's Orba.
Yeah. Erland, Graven, Erland.
Sorry.
No, that was perfect. I love you very much.
Can I use one of my things? Or not yet?
I think that was.
I think it has to be on a hit,
We're in a cute little line.
as far as I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
When
know
you
the
hit,
vision.
when you're.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
It was just trash.
Here's the creature banging its head against. How's the camera there? Oh, the camera's pretty good. All right.
All right. So everybody rolled. Matt, have you rolled?
I have not. Just a second.
Sorry.
Okay.
Take your time. You busy?
I think it's 12. Let me double check the stats. 12.
Okay. So do we have 21 to 25?
No.
Do we have 15 to 20?
15.
Oh, there we
15
go.
Erland. Do we have 9 to 14?
9.
11.
The bone naga was 12.
Okay. 12.
I'm sorry, the what?
It's a bone naga. It's like a bone serpent.
Oh, Naga.
Yeah.
That was like Boanaga.
Yeah, I thought you said bone noggle.
It's like a bodega.
Good ain't my first job, Boanaga.
Okay. I think I was 10. Graven, you were 9.
9.
3.
And Erland. Oh no, you're at the top. I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm all
3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 units, right?
Yep.
All right. Let's boogie. Oh Jesus.
That's the boogie music?
That's the boogie music.
So the serpent sort of rears its head, and seeing Beezaura, it gets itself attacked. So you can see the sort of almost rib cage that rattles all the way down its body. It like almost opens up into kind of an attack position, like the ribs almost separate
Ew.
into this sort of like serpentine sort of pose. Erland, what do we got?
That's an excellent question. Is it how far away from it is me? I'm so bad. That's like
Is
the 10th
me?
time I
That
messed
is
up that sentence.
Yes.
5, 10, 15, 20 feet away.
20 feet away.
Yep.
All right.
Actually, Beezaura's here because she's within striking range.
I might buy.
Okay, cool. I am indeed going to. Upon assessing, does it seem like it has any way of flinging things at us, or does it?
This is not a creature you're familiar with, so I'm going to
Great.
say you don't know.
Good. I'm going to run up to it, sort of to the shortest possible distance towards it.
Sure, that would be like 5, 10, 15, 20.
Great. So then, if I'm coming up from the right side, actually, Beezaura short enough. I'm gonna go right over top of Beezaura.
So duck!
And we're going for a two-handed quarterstaff attack.
Sure.
Wow.
Roll for your attack.
And that is a 16 to hit.
16 hits. Roll for damage.
Where's my D8 at? There we go. Got one. 5 bludgeoning damage.
5 damage. Great. So Erland, he's duck and he swings the quarterstaff and it kind of, and one of the bones kind of cracks and goes flying across the room like a piece of the bone kind of, and it sort of recoils.
Gosh.
Okay, great. So then I'm also going to do. Wait a moment. Okay, great. I am. It's right after me. Great. Sorry, I have so many new things, guys.
Okay, take your time.
No, I'm panicking.
Don't panic.
So disengaging means that it doesn't get.
An opportunity attack, yes.
Great. And I've used 20 feet of movement.
Yep.
And so 20 feet of extra movement towards where I came from would take me where, just out of curiosity?
It could take you exactly back to where you were.
Great. I am going to then, after sort of swinging the thing over top of Beezaura, I'm going to sort of very... you can expend a key point and sort of roll back out of the way and literally back around to where I came from.
Cool. So you see Erland kind of hit the staff, and afterwards he kind of rolls backwards, and Beezaura kind of goes by Beezaura. And where are you headed? Back to
Exactly to where I was
I've
prior.
never seen him do
I'm using all 20
anything like
feet of extra movement.
Who knew you were such a gymnast, Erland?
And the rest of you kind of see Erland. You saw Erland go up, and then you hear a noise, and then he kind of pops back down the staircase.
Big serpent, really big serpent.
Anything else?
No, that's the oh, I had an extra stupid attack. I'm so dumb.
Oh no.
Yeah,
It's
no.
okay, friend.
You're too scared.
Mistakes were made.
I think it's.
Great. So the serpent sort of seeing that there's sort of more threats in the room, sort of takes a quick look, and he isn't able to see down the staircase, but he sort of fixates on Beezaura, who's standing there in front of him, and he opens his sort of serpent mouth, and a bit of sort of flickering electricity starts to form in his mouth, and it kind of crackles, and there's sort of a line of lightning as it kind of.
Oh my god.
And make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh my god.
And you guys can hear this sort of crackling, sort of. You can see the light kind of lighting up this top area.
Oh my god.
Nope.
16.
16. Great. So as the lightning sort of comes out, you are able to you see it coming, and you go into sort of a duck and cover, and just some of the tendrils of lightning kind of sort of hit you across the back. You take half damage of this.
Rolls, my friend.
You take 10 lightning damage.
Wow.
Wow.
And the lightning kind of crackles across the floor and sort of runs up its side.
Jesus Christ.
And then it sort of, after doing so, it sort of seems like it almost takes a breath, and again, sort of the rib cage sort of skeleton starts to sort of flicker all the way from the tail all the way up to its neck, and it sort of stands there waiting.
Serpent has electricity in it. Watch out.
Give a quick yell.
Would I have any knowledge of this creature at all? Have I ever seen anything like this?
Right now, you can't even see it.
Right,
Are you
but I
moving?
know that it's a bone. It's a snake made of bone, right? Don't I know?
I said it was a snake made of bone.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
That does not mean anything to
That
you.
doesn't mean anything to me? Okay. So I wouldn't know what kind of damage it would respond to more than. Then I'm gonna take. Can I not see it? Can I move up to a place where
You
I can
can
see
move
it?
to where you can see it. Yeah,
Yeah, I would
you
like
can
to move
This
to
is
where I
basically
can
the
see
top
it.
of the staircase. Yeah, so if you
Yeah,
move
so I
up
want to
the
move
top
to the
of
top of the staircase and take an arrow out
Yep.
and aim for it to like go almost like through its mouth.
Great.
You know.
Make an attack roll.
20.
20 hits. Not natural 20
Not
hits.
natural
Okay, good. 20 hits.
Okay. This is D8, right? Yeah. 7.
So, and that's with your feet as well? The Colossus Slayer or whatever? It's hurt.
Oh, it's hurt,
Yep.
right.
So dope.
Wow, okay.
What is it?
I can't do simple
What is it?
Just give us the numbers.
Oh, it's 15.
15, great. So she peeks up the top of the staircase and kind of looses an arrow, and it sort of goes into its jaw, and it kind of rattles around in the bones. It kind of, and you can see some like flecks of bone kind of splintering off in its face, and it kind of reacts to it.
That's why I brought the bag over.
Anything else? You still have movement.
I have this temptation that's probably a terrible idea, but I want to run up to it. And can I put my foot on its head, or does that count as
It's not low enough to the ground.
It's not low enough to the
No.
ground, okay.
Yeah, it is sort of like coiled up. It's big, so it's like up.
Well, I want
You
to
would
get
not
close
be able
enough
to
to
do
do bludgeoning damage to it. So I want to run up to it.
Sure.
Right next to it.
Yeah, you don't have an attack left, but
No,
you can
I
run
don't.
up to it.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
I can
Sure.
creep it out if I want to.
Yeah.
Stand there.
Great. Okay. Orba, you're up.
Orba hears all of this exciting combat happening, so she climbs over Graven and Erland, peeks around the corner, and takes a look.
Staircase too.
And
Wow.
her eyes just like shoot up to this giant serpent. Is there 5 feet of unoccupied space anywhere there? It's a little hard to see.
Near the enemy or
Near the
you?
enemy, yeah. Any adjacent space near the enemy?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Like the 5 feet's just one square.
I wasn't
That
sure.
square,
It's
that
hard to
square.
tell if it's like
Yeah,
I
it's
gotcha.
either of these squares. Yeah.
And she's just like, okay, here we go. And she casts Maximilian's Earth Grasp again.
Great.
So a hand appears right up next to the guy.
Great, and this time, sort of the hand that appears, it comes up out of the stone, so it kind of it's this like sort of almost gargoyle hand that kind of comes up out of the ground.
Yeah, Orba likes that.
And it's a saving throw.
Yes, it is a. It's strength saving.
17.
pass. So he's not.
I passed my turn.
That's great. I'm not gonna go.
So he's not
Just runs
restrained,
outside.
but he does take, I believe, 1d6. Let me
Okay.
make sure. Wait, right now. Does it not do anything if it saves?
It doesn't do half damage on a success?
On a failed save target, as an action, or half as much on a success roll.
Yeah.
Okay. Jesus, I was about to get really
So it's
sad.
Yeah, so it's half of 2d6. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or target takes half. Yeah, so I have to roll twice still.
Okay.
9.
And
So
it rounds down,
half
so
the-
4. Great.
Uh,
So the earthen hand kind of comes up and it grabs a part of the bone and kind of pulls on it and it kind of recoils, but it doesn't. It isn't able to sort of hold it in its grasp. Kind of shakes itself free.
okay, and sorry, I'm trying to understand if I have to keep sight of my hand. As an action, you can use the hand to reach a different spot. I don't know if I have to keep it in sight.
Well, you don't, because as an action, you can cause the hand to crush the restrained target, but it's not restrained. You failed
No, I'm
that.
wondering if I go back into that staircase, does my hand go away? Even if I'm in range, do I still need vision of it? Because I needed.
Oh, that's
Because I needed to
If it doesn't
see
say.
a spot in order to make the hand. Do I need to keep my eye on the spot?
I'm gonna say you have to maintain vision of it. I don't think it
Okay,
makes sense
that's
for you
fine.
not to be able to.
Because
it's not sentient, you're controlling it, so
Yeah.
you need to maintain it.
all right, cool. Is that a separate spot in that back corner of the staircase?
Yeah, so
that
it
we're-
stays there. I'm gonna give you a little marker.
Oh, fun! I have a little hand. Oh, I can make
for
one.
it, but this little black thing is here.
Maybe.
Sprout it out.
Hand from that.
So yeah, so Orba's gonna step back
Yeah.
into that corner there. That's one square
Sure.
off.
Yep.
Can we?
Sorry. No, I'm done.
Can we yell things not on our turn?
Brief things. You cannot have a conversation.
Of course. I'm gonna say, behind the door, are you able to fight?
You don't hear a response. Right. It's loud in here too. There's a lot of noise being made. So.
Literally a bone thing rubbing against.
Graven, you're up.
I made too much candy.
I'm gonna grab like. How much? I have 30 feet of movement. Can I get over to, like, next to Safira? Is that I can't tell.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah.
I could get over there. Okay.
Is that where you want to go?
Yeah, I'm gonna on my way. I'm gonna like grab any kind of loose piece of like wood or something and like just cast light to kind of
Sure.
get its.
It doesn't
get
cost an action to do that now, does it? Maybe you don't want that.
Yeah, maybe I don't want to do that. Yeah, it's an action. Never mind.
Okay.
God damn it. Okay, yeah. So I'm just gonna go wave this hand, and just as I get by Safira, like swing my mace.
Not
Correct.
like Jeff
Make an
Goldblum.
attack roll.
Attack roll.
In a museum.
18.
18 hits. Roll for damage.
3 damage.
3. Great. So you run up and sort of swing the mace and sort of catch a piece of the bone and flex a bone, kind of go flying up against the wall.
And that. Oh! That was my question from earlier. My amulet. When bearer amulet deals a killing blow to a non-undead creature with a melee weapon, like my fist.
Yes.
Gain 3 temporary hit points. Would I still have those 3 temporary hit points from when I killed that guy?
I'll say yes. Try to remember that you have them.
I will. Okay.
Yeah.
So 3 temporary.
Because it's the first time we used it all.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah.
Cool. And that's it.
Great.
That's
all
it
right.
for me.
Zara, you're up.
How far away is my flail?
He probably kicked it maybe 15 feet away across the room.
How much is my
You have
25 feet? So
Don't you have another weapon?
Yeah, you'd be able to, because it's in this
Do
square.
I have another weapon? No. I have an unarmed strike.
Yeah. You would be able to go grab it and come back. He would just get a swipe at you as you sort of make a dash for the flail.
I feel like my arms are not going to do much. I'm gonna go try it.
Great. So Beezaura sort of sees the flail across the room and she sort of scampers for it. And he's gonna take a sort of swipe with his tail.
No.
13 to hit.
Misses.
Misses, great. So sort of the tail kind of goes over your head as you're sort of scampering over and you grab the flail. And are you going back to him?
Uh-huh.
Great. So you turn around and you charge back. Make an attack roll.
Graven and Safira just.
15.
15 hits.
Yeah.
Roll for damage.
Let's go.
That's the D.
I love
It
this.
says it under your weapon or next to your weapon.
D8.
And it has a plus too, I think. Yeah, plus something.
+2.
Great.
I always.
It is this one.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. 8.
8 damage. Great.
Wow.
So you run in with the flail and it sort of crushes a piece of the bone that kind of splinters and flies off into the room. Would you like to use one of your superiority dice? Because that was a hit.
Spend 1 second. Distract the creature, giving your allies an opening. Spend 1. Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay.
Take it away.
Who's after me? Erland.
Erland.
Where is he? Oh, he's on. He
He's
rolled
in the
back.
stairwell.
I'm in the
He
stairwell.
rolled back there.
You can get back up there.
Well, I don't want to.
You know. You're such a princess,
so-
Rigby.
When you hit a creature,
Excuse me?
expend to attempt
Yeah.
goad
That's
the
easy
target
for you
into
to
attacking.
say.
Oh no!
I have a ghost pass.
Miss, I have.
You can sort of
27
distract. You can
HP.
try and goad it into attacking you instead of your allies. The idea being you're sort of
Right.
gathering its attention.
I can't do. Oh, I already used. I can do the one where I do it again. I can attack again.
Action surge. Yes, you have that. Yep, you've rested.
Oh
you can
yeah.
you can take just an extra attack. You can do that as well.
Yeah, why not?
Great.
I'm already getting them.
Great. So she swings and she goes around for a second sort of swing. Make an attack roll.
14.
14 misses.
Damn it! I knew he wasn't 15.
So you're going for the second swing and having sort of just hit it, it sort of recoils out of the way, and the sort of mace goes wide there.
Really quick, I believe your superiority
Yeah, I
dice
gotta check
refreshed.
one.
Yeah, you have.
Oh, it's refreshed, so I just leave it.
You have 3 of them. No, that wasn't a superiority dice. Action surge is different. That's a different ability.
So I need to.
I mean, you're good. You get it once per rest.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Okay, great. Okay, that's the end of the round. So at this, before Erland's able to sort of act, the creature sort of rears up onto its tail and it lets out this kind of crackling scream, almost like a. And you begin, as the battle's sort of going on, to hear kind of footsteps coming up from behind you.
Oh, good.
What
Told you I should have waited at the door.
And some
I've
skeletons
been alone down
I
there.
don't
are
know.
making their way up the stairwell.
Look at that, Erland's gonna protect you.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah, he's my best friend.
I'll fucking.
Oh my god.
That's a lot of. That's many feet away.
And I'm sorry, you said
Yes.
we could hear that?
Yeah, you can hear the sort of you could hear the call and then the sort of rattling that accompanied it. So put the skeletons are going to be at the end, so they're going to take their hearing the call. They take their move action, which is how.
Hearing the call. Oh, right.
Like the
sorry.
thing made up.
Yeah, like they picked up their phone and they said,
heard
"Hello,
that.
911."
He paged him.
I
They
don't
saw
know it's us.
911.
30.
Bone serpent.
911, yes.
911 from the bone serpent.
I'm so sorry.
By the police.
Yes, hello. They need to come.
The bone serpent
Great.
police.
All right, Erland, you're up.
Goddamn.
Sorry, how far did it? I guess I wouldn't see that.
I mean, you could make a guess because you've come. I mean, 30. Yeah, probably 120-ish feet. I made an estimate there.
So is there an access point for me to even get to the creature using 20 feet of movement like I did last time?
5, 10, 15, 20. Yes.
Okay, great. I'm going to, again, I'm sort of gonna like creep around the corner and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm sort of like, again, just over top of Beezy.
Great.
Sort of trying to.
That's kind of over the top of Orba's hand.
Oh yeah, definitely stepping around the earth. I'm gonna sort of.
Go for the attack. Great.
Yeah, go
Make
for
an
that
attack.
with the two-handed quarterstaff attack.
Great.
That is 19 to hit.
19 hits.
Wow.
Roll for damage.
Nice.
some good rolls.
That is 10 bludgeoning damage.
Great.
Wow.
So Erland sort of using the momentum of running forward kind of goes whoosh and gives a good whack.
So I'm correct in saying that if I'm using one of my sort of key point things as a bonus action, I can't also use my extra unarmed attack as a bonus action.
Yeah, you can only use one bonus action unless otherwise specified.
Great. So having heard that there are things coming up and knowing that Orba is hiding in a corner, I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm sort of like going in, then rolling back and getting back into position.
Using another key point?
Using, another key point.
Disengage. Great.
1 key points.
I feel you.
Okay. Okay. So the Naga, after taking hits, and it's sort of shedding some of its bones, like some of the bone flecks are chipping off. It's gonna sort of coil up into a ball, and it tenses, and a bunch of the spines, the bones, kind of fly out in every direction. Everyone that it can see, it's making a ranged attack against. Oh man.
They can see me?
This is Orba, 17 to hit. Okay. Beezaura, 17 to hit.
That's, I checked my armor class, right? Misses.
Safira, 20, that's a crit. And Graven, 11 to hit. Misses. Okay, so the bones kind of fling by Beezaura and Graven. Orba takes...
I'm worried.
Bad. 5 piercing damage.
I'm down.
Orba. So the spine kind of hits Orba, and she hits up against the wall and kind of slumps down against the wall.
My hand goes away too.
And the hand disappears. And Safira, you take
That was crit,
6 piercing damage.
right? Okay.
Yeah, that one wasn't too bad actually.
What does that mean if it's critical? Does that...
It doubles the damage. So you only got 3 damage, but it
I
doubles.
see.
Doubles the damage before the modifier. Great. So he sort of and all the spines go flying, and then he sort of uncoils and waits for his next move. Safira, you're up.
I see that this has knocked Orba out.
Can you
right?
explain what being knocked out? Can we explain how you deal with that?
Yeah. So when Orba's turn comes up, she's going to make a death saving throw.
Okay.
And if it's greater than 10, you pass. If it's less than 10, you fail.
What if it's 10?
10 is a pass. And 3 fails and you die. And 3 successes and you sort of wake up out of your unconsciousness.
Sorry.
You can heal someone who's unconscious and it brings them back into
Can
consciousness.
you give someone a healing potion?
You can.
I'm going to immediately go and heal
You
her.
can tip a healing potion into an unconscious person's mouth, yes.
Okay.
I have that.
But I'm going to go before you.
Yeah.
So
You're up,
it's me, yeah? Well, I'm up, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take my sickle, seeing that it's just done this, and just try to...
Great. Big slice. Make an attack roll.
Come on.
I'm trying to cut its head off, and I'm not gonna succeed. 7.
7 fails, so the slice goes and it kind of goes between 2 of the bones that are kind of clattering against each other.
He's got no fat.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna let it take a swipe at me then. I want to go over to between where Orba... So if I go here, am I between Orba and these guys?
There?
Yeah,
Or
if
here?
I were to go here.
Yeah, they have to come all the way around, yes.
Yeah, so I want
Great.
to run to there so that I'm between...
So as you
Kill him.
As you run, he sort of takes a swipe at you with his tail. 9 to hit.
Misses.
Great. So your tail goes wide as you run your way down a couple of the stairs. You sort of see Orba in the corner as you sort of take a few steps down the stairs.
Yeah.
All right, Graven, you're up. Or did you make your roll?
No.
Make your roll.
It's an 8.
Great. So first death save.
D&D used to be so fun.
I'm gonna run over to Orba.
Okay.
So he's gonna get.
It's already made a reaction this round, so it does not
Okay,
go
it doesn't
away.
get a chance to. Okay.
You only got 1 reaction.
I don't need spare the dying. I can go straight to cure.
Yeah, if you heal
wake
her,
if I
she-
heal
yeah.
her. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna use the cure wounds on a second level spell slot. So I go up to her. She's like attached to
She's
the
kind of
wall.
like been pinned to the wall with this kind of piece of bone. Yeah.
Okay, I reach out to her, hold her up, pull the piece out, and
And she sort of slumps a little bit further as
slumps, and I hold like the side of her head and where the thing went in, and cast Cure Wounds.
Great.
So.
And at a second level as well.
Second level, healing increases by 1d8, so 2d8 plus spellcasting ability. Which is 2. $11. And as a bonus action,
So the energy flows into her. She sort of breathes life into her.
Orba, it's okay. You're still alive. You're alive. Stay with me. Stay with me.
I'm gonna very sharply remain behind me. She's like, I'm mad about it now. Like,
I still have her in my hands. I have her in my hands, and as a bonus action, I'm gonna just cover in a shield of faith.
Great.
So you get another +2 to your attack
Armor class?
Armor class.
Oh, wow.
duration.
You see sort of a little shimmering bubble kind of appears around Orba, like a protective sort of veneer.
And I'm just gonna stand up and turn around.
You still have movement. Do you want to move, or you staying there? Great.
Nope.
Yeah.
Come get me. Anything else? All right, Zara, you're up.
This could be the one that takes down the beast.
Do it.
Do it.
Just gotta go for it.
All right.
I'm standing next to it. I just have to.
Take a swing.
Kill it.
Come on. Let's show it who's
Give me my
boss.
space. Give me my space. Dice. What is that? That's not good.
No.
10.
10 misses. Yeah. So you go in, and being the only one left in the room, it's sort of fixated its gaze on you, and it's able to sort of gauge your movements. Okay. You have. Are you hurt?
I was electrified.
You do have a self heal. That's a thing you still have, I think.
Self.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I keep
Some people are just born lucky, I guess.
defense.
Is it an action? Though?
Second wind.
win?
Yes. Is that an
You can
action?
use a bonus action to regain
A bonus action. Yeah.
hit points equal to D1d10 plus your fighter level. Once you
Just 3. Yeah.
Okay, so what does that do exactly?
It heals yourself. You can
Okay.
heal yourself. Yeah.
But that doesn't do anything to that guy.
No. But
I mean, if
keeps
you're not
you
worried about
standing
your
longer.
HP, yeah.
Okay, I could do it.
Great. So the sort of second wind, so Beezaura sort of summons a little bit of strength and feels the energy. Go ahead and roll a d10 and add 3.
10. This one? Oh no, that's a lot.
No. This one.
That one? 9.
9, great. So you
Oh, plus-
fighter level,
12.
So
Plus 12.
Plus 3. 12
Oh wait.
total.
Yes.
Great. So you heal 12.
My gosh, I am losing it. Oh, so I gained 12?
Yep. 12 hit points.
Sweet.
Right. So you guys can see. So as you're sort of guarding Orba, you watch as Beezaura kind of summons the strength to stand and fight. Okay, so you can hear the sort of clattering.
Stay.
I don't want it.
Bad skeletons.
We need to kill this guy before they get up the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay, so they continue to make their way up the stairs,
Um.
back up to the top.
So does you said he already made he doesn't have any more reactions
Per round, per turn.
So is that like to him or is that to the top?
No, to the new round. It would get one now.
So sad.
Well, now I don't know what to do then. Okay, well at the very least. Okay, so I can still get around. There's room to get around Graven there and stuff, yeah?
Yeah, you can get in there.
Okay, great. So I'm gonna get around to I'm gonna sort of again pop back out and sort of and swing
2, 3, 4, 20 feet of movement.
yeah. So I'm going to hate all of this so much. I'm going to swing with a two-handed quarterstaff attack. This time going over top of her, sort of jamming it.
Great. Hit him with sort of the butt end.
Get on!
14 to hit.
14 misses.
Okay.
So you go in for the hit, and it kind of the spacing in between it kind of goes in and out.
Yeah, and I'm going to knowing that it can still attack me, I'm gonna sort of this time I'm not gonna roll out of the way. I'm gonna sort of do that and back away and try and get back exactly to where I was around the corner.
All right, good. So as you go, it's gonna take a swipe at you. 13 to hit.
13 misses.
So as he sort of ducks his way back out, it sort of goes for a bite, and it kind of, and just as it does, you get out of its range. And you're going back to where you were.
Right back to where I was.
Okay.
Nice.
Anything else?
No.
All right. So the Bone Naga sort of reeling up and sort of shaking off some of the damage, and some of the spines have gone flying across the room in this sort of disarray. It's going to just make a bite attack against Beezaura. It's going to sort of grab down with its jaws.
Sorry, girl.
Natural 20.
Oh my god! Worst case scenario.
Graham.
What the fuck?
You take 16 points of piercing damage as its jaws kind of clamp down on you.
Yeah, she's fine, but oh my god.
And some of the flesh kind of tears out from your neck, and sort of a fleck of blood goes flying. And it's going to remain there. 16, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, I've seen that that's happened, and I Graven, you're in front of Orba. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna kind of push him in front of Orba even more and run past, and then as soon as I get to the top of the stairs, I'm gonna shoot I'm gonna shoot my longbow at its head.
Great.
Whoa! That counts.
Cool.
That was cool.
If it's not cocked.
No.
It's not.
Did you see what it did?
It's on top
It
of
went
another one.
25 total.
25 hits. Roll for damage.
I wasn't worried that it wasn't going to.
Lots of damage.
The most damage.
So the first one is 6, and then I get another
Plus
D8
D8,
that's
yep.
damaged. 10.
10 damage.
It explodes.
Wow. Come on.
The arrow looses, and again, the arrow tears off a chunk of its jaw, and it kind of, and a sort of a piece of it goes flying across the room, and it sort of makes a nasty sound as it coils up. It looks pretty busted, but it's up.
We need one last hit.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't have any bonus actions or anything, so I think I'm gonna stay where I am because I think I'm more useful with my longbow than anything else.
Great. Orba, you're up.
Orba immediately just puts up her hand and casts Chill Touch.
And that's an attack roll?
It is, yeah.
Great. Make an attack.
Oh god, I don't even know where I am right now. That's 23.
23 hits, roll for damage.
Okay,
my
so
God.
that's...
God. Remember when it knocked you out? Right back.
Where the fuck? Okay, there it is. Okay. That's 3, and then it also has disadvantage against me the next time it attacks.
Great. So the chilling energy goes out and it sort of rattles over some of the bones, and they kind of start to get hard, and they're almost like they're cracking and breaking. You can feel the energy, and it sort of reels and sort of shakes out of it, and it stays up.
Oh, Graven! Put him to bed.
Graven, you're up.
She's still behind me, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna, seeing that it got caught up and stuck kind of in place, I'm gonna cast Sacred Flame.
Great. Sort of a torrent of fire energy.
Yep. Target must succeed on a dexterity saving throw.
What's your spell save, DC?
I always remember.
14. 12. So it passes. Great. So is there damage? Does it take half damage or something? Great. So
Oh, god damn
sort of torn to fire, but it is able, even in its sort of wounded state, to sort of get low to the ground, and the flame passes over.
Easy, make it happen.
Let's go,
Make it happen,
BZ.
girl.
Everybody shout.
Anything else? You got a bonus section?
Around the corner.
Yeah.
No.
That's it.
You're up.
Sorry.
Flail!
Great. Goes in for the hit. Make an attack roll.
Where the fuck is the dice?
The flail. Yeah, no one noticed that. It was genius.
I got you. Sail, flail.
Thank you.
20! Sorry.
Oh my!
Don't do that.
I'm so sorry. I'm sweating. I'm nervous, and I just got a 20.
Well, everyone watching the stream just died. You critted the whole
I'm
stream.
gonna see if I can tell chat to mute.
Sorry.
Mute! Everyone's speakers
Oh
blow.
my god, I'm really sorry. I didn't expect that reaction.
It's like the max sale guy.
Roll for damage.
I did exactly the same
So,
thing. I contributed
1d8.
Sorry.
D8.
Yeah,
what
this
the heck
one.
is it? I'm so sorry. I'm
All
really
of
sorry.
Manhattan just woke
It
up.
gets doubled.
Yes.
I'm so
D20?
sorry.
Did someone say D20?
Oh. 3?
No, so it's
Oh.
1 times 2.
Yep. Plus,
Plus
plus
two.
the thing.
Oh.
So 4.
So 4
4.
total. Great.
It's not too bad.
So she swings the flail and crashes into the Naga. And Beezaura, why don't you show us?
Yeah.
I take the flail. I
At
swing
a reasonable
Sorry.
volume.
I take the flail. I swing it 4 times because that's a solid number. Around my head. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I take it. And I take it towards its head, and I just swing it. It's like a big old slap across the face,
It hits the
and it
face.
just in pieces. The bones in pieces, and everyone's ducking because they're flying everywhere. And he is out of here.
So the Bone Naga crumbles into dust at your feet.
Bow down.
Beezaura, you've never looked taller.
Thank you, Graven.
And as it crumbles, you hear the clattering. That one fell out the window there.
I hate to ruin the enthusiasm of the moment, but there are more enemies coming up the stairs.
Coming.
Erland, you're up.
They're too far away. I'm going to. Yeah, they're real far. Yeah, I'm gonna run to the door.
This door?
Yeah.
Sure.
Smart.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25 to get to the door.
Excuse me.
25 to get to the door. We're falling apart at the seams here. I assume it's locked.
Yeah, you go.
Is everyone all right in there?
Open it.
Fucking dead. I'm
Can't.
so mad.
All right, then
Grab it.
I'm gonna turn around from the door and just assume a one-handed available ready position.
Portable
Erland
ram.
stands there.
We need the ram, guys.
Quick, someone go to the ram.
Let's go.
Safira, you're up.
Okay, so I hear them coming, so I'm gonna run down the stairs with my arrow.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
And I'm
How
gonna-
far can you go? That's 30.
That's as far as I can go.
You're
What?
30, right? 5, 10,
Yeah.
walking distance?
15,
Yeah.
20, 25, 30. Yeah.
You going
Okay,
down?
that's it. I'm just,
Okay.
yeah. I
Yeah,
want to,
So you guys are charging down the stairs. Yeah, great.
yeah.
Why?
Orba?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna follow Safira.
Great.
But I'm gonna
Orba,
stay.
are you sure?
I'm going to stay behind her, but.
And are you also
And I
30?
kind of see that she's following me. Like,
Yes, but whatever I'm gonna be on.
That's
her heels.
25, so if you want to stay behind her there.
Yeah.
Great.
I got your back.
I kind of don't know how to deal with that.
You can hold your arm out, but
I
she
can hold my
comes
arm
with you.
out.
Graven.
Yeah.
I'm running past both of them as far as I can go. 30.
15, 20, 25,
What?
30. Beezaura. You guys can also dash. You can use your movement again. Did you want to go as far as you possibly could?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to go
Yeah.
as far as
I
I
wanna go as
possibly
far as I
can.
possibly
I didn't know if you wanted to maintain that action. 5, 10, 15, because it costs an action.
They're going down
30.
the stairs
I'm
towards
no,
the people?
30.
No.
Or
Put me
things?
like at the corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, sir.
Yeah.
That's as far as you could go on one turn, yeah.
Okay.
Beezaura. You see everybody sort of vacating the stairwell as they continue downwards.
Doors are always so tempting.
Always. Doors.
I can't with everyone right now.
She done.
Can I flail open the door?
You can try and break the door.
Is it an iron door? Is it made of iron?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that.
I think so.
I'm standing right in front of that door.
There was something behind the door.
Maybe.
I want to go towards the door.
You want to go towards the door?
Yeah.
Sure. And you're standing there in front of the door. Banging on it, or are you trying to bash it open?
I want to try to bash it open.
Great. Make an attack roll.
Don't scream.
No, I'm not. And what do I do?
Use your mace, your weapon, your flail.
Oh, 7.
7. I mean, it's a door. It hits. No, you hit it. So roll for damage. It doesn't try to move out of the way.
Very low AC.
It's not hitting me back.
It's weird.
So I do +2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 4.
4. So you swing it. It hits it and it makes a good dent in the door. It doesn't bust it open all the way, but it rattles on its sort of hinges. It seems like you've done good damage to it, but it's not open.
Sorry, friends, in the melee of battle, a stray weapon. What are you doing?
I want to try to see what's behind the door.
That's all you can say at the moment. Erland, you're up. Oh no, the skeletons get to walk here.
Get out of here! Oh, hello, friends.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this one's gonna dash and make it up to you, but it can't attack because it used both actions.
Come.
So they're all right.
Come.
Good.
All right, skeletons are done. Erland, you're up.
I heard the skeletons moving, yeah?
Yeah, you can hear them rattling up the staircase.
Alright, I'm gonna say to Beezaura as I'm leaving, come with me and fight whatever's down there. And I'm going to... How far is 80, actually?
5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70 would get you there.
Damn, you fast.
Would get you all the way
Okay,
up.
and so that uses an action, right? Using dash?
That uses both of your actions, yes. Well, your action, and then you can use up. You can.
But I can
dash
still do a
again.
bonus action.
It's your move and your action. Sorry, yes.
I can still do a bonus action.
As long as it's not conditional. Some bonus actions are like after an attack, you can use a bonus action.
Oh, yeah, they are.
So you didn't make an attack, so you can't use that.
Okay, great. In that case, I'm just going to dash to directly in front of Orba.
Okay.
That still puts me 40 feet away from them in this particular moment, yes?
5, 10, 15, you're 20 feet away from them.
Okay, that's... in that case...
But that is with a dash. You can't get to there without a dash.
Yeah, no, I'm fine dashing.
Okay.
I'm not going to do anything. I'm just trying to figure out where I want to land. In that case, yeah, I'll stand in front of Orba.
Okay, great. Erland sort of takes a defensive position in front of the wizard. Safira.
Okay, I'm gonna take... Which one's the one that's closest to Graven right now?
There's 2 that are both within
Okay,
melee range.
I'm gonna
of
take
Graven.
my longbow and shoot.
Sort of, over the top and down the stairs.
Yeah. 17.
17 hits. Roll for damage.
7.
Damage. Great. So the arrow connects and it kind of rattles, and it has a shield, but it's not able to get it up quick enough, and it kind of takes some of the damage from the arrow. Takes the full brunt of it. Anything else?
Isn't there a disadvantage against using my longbow when I'm too close to something? Or?
Yeah, within melee range, which you are not.
I'm not? Okay.
No. Yeah, they're 10 feet away. Yeah, melee range is 5 feet away, so yeah, you're okay.
Okay. Then I'm gonna stay where I am.
Great. Orba.
You guys are gonna be so mad at me.
Don't.
No.
Orba's gonna run up
No!
next to...
You stupid motherfucker. What is wrong with you?
Orba is gonna run up next to Graven.
Are you trying to get yourself killed? We're gonna have a conversation after this.
Okay. She's gonna slam her palms together and cast Thunder Wave.
Right.
Yeah.
It hit.
It'll hit all 3 of them.
Yes, and in a way that doesn't hit Graven.
Yeah, because you can
please.
do it here, and that'll be
I would prefer to not. We'll deal with that later.
Orba's like, hi.
Can you imagine?
He's like ragdolling.
It's like, oh my god.
So she casts it, and they have to make a Constitution saving throw. All three of them.
I will do the one in front of Graven first. 3. That
Fail.
fails. The other one within melee range. Natural 1 fails, and the third one in the back, 15.
That's a save.
Save. Great.
Okay, so the 2 that failed are pushed back. Let's see, 10 feet.
Great.
Failed save, they take 2d8. 10 damage each for the 2 that failed, and then the one that succeeded, 5.
Great.
And I make a big boom.
Great. So it makes a loud, like, clap, and in this sort of small hallway, it sort of rings out, and it's sort of everyone kind of covers their ears a little bit. One of the skeletons. This was the one that Safira had hit before. It gets hit by the concussive sound, hits the wall, and just crashes into dust.
There we go.
And I still have movement left, right?
I think you have 5, 10, 15, 20. You have 5 feet of movement.
Yeah, Orba's gonna take a step back, going.
Great. And just slides back up.
And that's it.
Wow.
Graven.
So
Sorry, guys.
in the moments afterwards, I've kind of closed my eyes and put my palm out, and my hand just starts to glow. And as I open my eyes, like light shoots out of any orifice can be seen, and I cast
Any
Radiance of the Dawn.
Great.
I was ready for him to say that, but I also
I channel my divinity
Great.
to
You see this sort of
You channel your
energy
through your
flowing through
orifices.
Graven, and his eyes kind
I
of
want
light up
this.
and light up the hallway.
So, magical darkness is 30 feet. Each hostile creature within 30 feet of me must make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. We'll do. What's the spell save? That's on your second sheet, I think.
12.
Great. So I'm doing the one closest to you first. 2, that fails, and the one behind it. 7, they both fail.
Will fail. So, the creature takes radiant damage equal to 2d10 plus cleric level.
Whoa.
Jesus Christ.
Which again is
Who
3.
knows? You guys have these
2d10.
area of effect spells that I did not know existed.
Use Thunderwave a lot. People just pass when I do it.
11.
Great. So you see the hallway sort of light up with this clerical energy, and it almost seems like streaming in through, like upstairs from the hallway, the light kind of finds its way around to Graven, and you see this force of energy kind of flow through him, and it lights up the hallway, this blinding light, and everyone kind of turns away from it, and when you open your eyes, there's just dust. And the two skeletons sort of
You did it!
vaporized.
Oh
guys.
Wow.
Exit out of
You are a
combat.
magician. I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
You guys are here. And,
Orba, you alright?
And she's kind of in front of me, so I grab her.
Ah!
Orba, you do not ever run into combat like that again. Don't ever get within striking distance if you don't need to. You nearly died.
Orba gets really small.
Orba,
And just quiet.
you did well. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry if my actions appeared ungrateful. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna turn and sprint back to the door where
Yeah.
Beezaura is.
I'm
You hear
walking,
Erland's
I'm
guy.
running up.
right, you're
back
falling
towards her,
behind.
yeah.
Yep, you make your way up.
Is the door broken down?
It's dented
Okay,
real
great.
good.
I'm gonna sort of
What happened?
they're gone. Everything is gone, friends. Are you all right?
And are you pushing on the? Are you placing?
And my hand's just sort of on the door. I don't know why. It seems
Okay.
important.
No, you put your hand up to the door and you start to talk. And as you put your hand up to the door, it swings open a little bit.
Hello.
Let's go.
I'm gonna open the door carefully and at the ready.
And it kind of scrapes a little bit in its dented state. And you peek around,
Hello.
and there's like crates in here stacked up. It seems to be like they've stored things in here. There's also a couple like spots at the windows that look like people were stationed there, possibly with bows if there was a conflict or something like that. There's a number of, you can peek around the room. You don't see anyone at the moment.
So I'm gonna Hello? The creature is gone. We dispatched the creature.
If anyone's in here,
Is there
you're
anyone
safe.
behind the door?
You take a peek around. No one's there.
Erland, is there no one here?
Jillian?
No response.
Can we all start to head into the room?
Yeah, I mean, you guys make your way there.
So you said there's like a storeroom there, like
yeah,
boxes.
there's boxes stacked. and
Are any of the
barrels.
boxes far enough off the wall that someone could conceivably be behind it?
There's probably a few places that someone could be hiding.
Can I start
behind
to
here.
tread lightly and look?
Sure. You want to make it? You want to do it
Yeah.
stealthily?
No, well, they know
Okay.
we're in there.
Okay. Yeah. Then you
We're
kinda-
safe.
And you guys start to peek, look around.
I do not start to peek and look around.
Okay.
I
What are you
want
doing?
to start and peek.
Yeah,
and look
no.
around.
Erland, they have a second here before you guys get there, but
Okay.
you'll be up in a second.
So I'm in the center of the room.
You see Beezaura starting to sort of look over a couple of the boxes.
What was the dude's name outside?
Tantum. Tanton? Tanton?
Tatten.
Tatten.
Good one.
Nice
That's
job.
close.
Yeah, I wrote it down.
Tatton sent us.
And Beezaura, you continue to peek around the boxes.
You can come out.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
For fuck's sake. I need a beer.
Hey.
That's a smile.
That's a good.
19.
19. So as you sort of move one crate and you peek over the side of another one, and a hand reaches out and grabs you sort of by the neck, and you're able to put your hand out in time, and you push away, and out from the box, sort of covered in soot and some of the debris, you see the face of Jillian. And she's holding a knife, and for a second she looks at you, and then it looks like she recognizes you, and that's what we're gonna call it.
That son of a bitch thought that she was
Of all people to find her, the one who was locked up.
That's right, lady.
That's where we're gonna end for the evening. That's all. for
Find her. I freaking saved her.
This episode of Tabletop Notch. Thank you guys so much for
Thank
joining
you
us.
so much.
Oh my God.
We had a blast. We'll hopefully see you next time, next week, next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
I've literally
Shout
been
out to all the
sweating.
people in chat.
Shout
Y'all
out
are
to
so
chat.
fun.
So
Thanks for
sorry for
joining
the
us.
eardrum bustage.
Yeah, if you're all deaf,
apologize.
we'll,
You can
And we'll
bill us for
tone
your
it.
broken stereo system.
We'll tone it
Don't
down.
actually don't do that.
bill her for your.
Oh my God.
We'll
I bet on Jordan alone.
You're right. It's on
we had a great time. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yay.
Really.
See you next week.
And we'll see what happens with Jillian's arrival
I
next
can't
week.
believe we found her.
Have a good night, guys.
Yay. Oh my God.